At Hoshikawa Industries, someone steps up and calls out Ijima Hiroshi. In a cluttered office, a young man in a white work uniform faces an older man with glasses. Then, Hoshikawa-san drops a brutal bombshell. "You'll have to retire." The young man just stands there as Hoshikawa thanks him for 10 years of hard work. Hiroshi is totally stunned and blurts out what Hoshikawa even means by making him leave. Then the young man snaps back, screaming that they're basically forcing him to retire when he's only 29. Hoshikawa snaps that the company's in a serious money crunch right now, and they're scrambling to restructure everything. But Hiroshi freaks out. This all feels way too sudden, and he reminds everyone that even he skipped his own leave and handled things over time, piece by piece. He demands, "So you're really saying you'll pay back the debt you owe me?" with spite. Hoshikawa coldly shuts Hiroshi down, saying he can complain all he wants, but nothing is going to change. Hiroshi admits his heart's full of gratitude. Hoshikawa took him, and even when he was still just a student, and since his own father died, he's been like a father to Hiroshi too, and it was all because of Hoshikawa that Hiroshi could raise his little sister. Hoshikawa fires back, saying that back when Hiroshi's father was still alive, he'd brag non-stop about how hardworking and studious his son was, and even while Hiroshi was still in high school, his knowledge was already on par with managers who'd been in the real job game. Hoshikawa halts mid-moment and tells Hiroshi, so if he wants to use that knowledge to its fullest, he better stop and think hard about every option he has. Then Hoshikawa bursts into laughter and tells Hiroshi, "Maybe you should reincarnate as someone else, because if you don't, you're basically finished." Hiroshi clenches his own arm so hard it aches, then blurts Hoshikawa's name in pure disbelief. Finally, Hiroshi Bose leaned in and thanked Hoshikawa for welcoming him for the past 10 years. Hoshikawa tells him, "Just drop the paperwork here once you're done," and then adds, "I've got to get moving. I've got somewhere I need to be right now." He shoots Hiroshi a grateful nod for the grind, and right there on the desk sits a retirement request document. Then Hiroshi finally storms out of the building and strides outside. He checked his phone, and there messages from his sister in a chat called Sias. She'd finally landed a job, was all grown up now, and she was thanking him for taking care of her. Hiroshi flashes a grin and strides through a corridor littered with scattered papers, his mind replaying the lessons his dad used to drill into them. He thinks they should thank every favor they get and never leave a debt hanging, because that's how kindness keeps spreading. And he also believes it's fine if the favors he's done for others don't get answered. Hiroshi stared at the book in his hands, a stack of Miyazawa Kenji poems titled Asterisk, Be Not Defeated by the Rain. He realizes this is the kind of strong, kind soul he wants to become. Then a door behind him suddenly beeps as someone comes closing in. Down the stairs, a young kid sprints past, and a white cat cries out to watch out, while Hiroshi stands outside clutching his book, thinking that the one his parents left him is the compass that's meant to steer his whole life. The white cat stares as the kid sprints off into the distance. Suddenly, Hiroshi's face snaps from calm to full shock and pain as he spots whatever just grabbed his attention. Hiroshi sinks into his thoughts, replaying every step that slammed him into this exact moment. He squared up to his fate head-on, fought like it was his last chance, took every hit without once turning it into hate toward anyone. Still, right as rain starts pelting down near that tall building, a bento box goes tumbling through the air like it's in a real-life action scene. A kid is on the ground sobbing, and two adults hover nearby. One says, "At least you're not hurt," and the other just nods back, "Yeah, that's good to hear." Meanwhile, the poetry pages whip open on their own, and every line shines like it's been untouched, unbeaten by the rain, unbroken by the wind. Hiroshi suddenly gets it. This weird way of thinking is coming straight from the poem, and he means it down to the bone. Papers and debris explode outward on impact, and while the world shudders, the poem's words keep pouring through his head, quietly smiling, crushed by nothing, shrugging off snow and summer heat alike, built tough, surviving day after day on 4 cups of brown rice, some miso, and a few humble vegetables. He stared at everything like a hunter with laser focus, swallowed every sight and sound into his memory, wanted nothing, and never once let anger take hold. A storm of cards starts spinning around him. Military command, resistance, territory control, and more. while the words sink in like they're rewriting his soul. Then the last verses turn into a lifeline, rolling south and spilling words of courage into the hands of a dying man, living in a tiny thatched roof house out in the meadow, tucked under a wild canopy of pines, heading east to save a sick kid, then racing west to ease the load on a tired mother weighed down by rice sheaves. Heading north, he tells the fighters to shove aside their little trifles because the more they push, the more ability cards start raining in, including the necromancer's secret art and that sturdy castle technique, nightingale hands that turn pain into healing, War of the King of Beasts. As if the whole world was about to break open like a prophecy you can't ignore, his dream finally clicks into place, crystal clear like fate hardening into a promise. The poem's last lines crash into the air, and suddenly tears fall in that awful dry, empty season, right there in the chill of a cold summer. Desperation drives his hands straight for the book as the words roar on, but everyone calls it useless. And still, feather-light silence drifts down to the whole scene. Meanwhile, the verses keep pouring out, no praise, no pettiness. Then a new ability card slams onto the scene, showing a superhuman with every power doubled. Hiroshi can't stop wondering, did he really pull off becoming someone like that? A face suddenly shows up, staring in thought, trying to figure out if the person really became the one the poem promised. The narrator finally drops his name, Ijima Hiroshi. Then the scene snaps away to a young kid with short dark hair, dressed in a black uniform with crisp white trim. Hero Roswell speaks again this time. It's 13-year-old him. And then, out of nowhere, one day he suddenly wakes up and realizes he's been reincarnated into a brand new world. In this brand new world, a towering cathedral looms over everything. This is Roswell, a territory of the Kingdom of Asgard, and Hero was born right here, older twin, firstborn of the Roswell family, the rulers of this land. They're a top-tier noble house that stands as one wing of the royal knights, guarding the kingdom like a shield. Ever since his old life ended, Hero's living in pure luxury, striding through grand halls while maids scurry aside like he's royalty. But there's one brutal reason he can't fully enjoy becoming the next lord of this land. 3 young people huddle at a window, staring down at the town, while a light-haired kid turns to his brother and blurts, "So, what are we looking at?" Hero, dark hair and all, shoots back that he's got a weird hunch about the town. Marison Roswell, the light-haired second son of the Roswell family. As their birthday creeps closer, everything feels louder and livelier. Then he starts wondering what the heck is going on beneath them. While the town sprawls wide, carriages rolling through the streets one after another. Then the hero snaps that there are way too many carriages crammed in here. Herod snaps his brother's gaze to it. Those carriages rolling in are packed with outsiders, but the ones heading back are emptied out. This makes it crystal clear trade inside their borders has basically seized up, and if it keeps going like this, their people won't be able to survive, let alone live a real life. Marison starts to answer, but the hero cuts in saying even the head maid was worried too. With shortages raging and prices skyrocketing, getting daily necessities has turned into a day-by-day struggle. The day they were born, a natural disaster tore the world apart, and now the harvest season crawls by at only half the time it used to. Marison mulls it over and shoots the question. So that's why we can only harvest about half? The hero snaps back that it's not that simple, not even close. Madison admits this whole thing is way over his head, and Hero shoots back that if they keep going like this, they're basically asking for a disaster. Before that chaos hits, they've got to move first. The hero bursts out that he'll save their people, crushed by brutal taxes because he's the eldest son, and the grit on his face proves he's the only one who can make it happen. Even after all this, he's still got memories from his past life locked in his head, and he's certain they're about to save him big time. This divination ceremony is about to be his first move into something life-changing. Soon, he'll stand before the gods to receive his divination. Meanwhile, Marison swallowed hard beside him as church bells thundered across the cathedral in the distance, their echo rolling through the whole town. Marison suddenly barrels ahead, telling his brother they've got to sprint to the church. If they're late, their divinations might slip away. Hero nods along, saying that would be a disaster. Then the two brothers push deeper through the grand halls until they finally reach the divine church's sacred holy hall. where the cathedral sprawls wide with towering pillars, vaulted ceilings, and the divination area waiting right at the center. Oliver Roswell, the Roswell family's head, tells the twins they're late as they stride up to their father and the priest. The hero shoots an apology, admitting he got so wrapped up chatting with his brother that he didn't even notice what was going on. The priest leans in and asks, "Shall we start now?" Oliver whips around to face his sons and tells them the truth: this family's future is riding on Hero's shoulders as the eldest. Now, Hero has to wake up, stay sharp, and step up as the next head. The priest kicks off his explanation. Divinations are special revelations humans receive when they reach adulthood, showing up as texts and appearing right before the chosen person. The heir could get 4 revelations total, 2 for ruling and 2 for leading soldiers. Then the cards flip in front of everyone, flashing giant blood rates as they track troop growth speed and protection through the seasons. Then the priest snaps into action and tells them, "Go on, start now." He orders them to crack open their scriptures and launch into the prayer. And just like that, the divination ceremony erupts into action. Suddenly, the scripture in the hero's hands erupts with blinding light. A divine presence slams into the moment. An angel with massive feathered wings dives from above and reaches straight for him, while sacred space fills with drifting feathers as the divination finally crystallizes. The angel hovers in front of the hero, then snaps its wings wide. He grips the glowing scripture in trembling hands, utterly swallowed by the moment, and as the revelation starts to click into place, his face twists right as one lone feather drifts past his cheek. Then the whole great holy hall goes dead silent. Our hero stands alone at the center of the cathedral floor, surrounded by dozens of scattered revelation cards that have burst into existence around him, and the sheer number is downright unreal. The priest steps in and pushes for them to start reading the revelations right now, while Hero's head spins because he never ever expected this many revelations to hit all at once. Then the priest snatches one of the cards and a burst of blinding light erupts around it like the game has awakened. The card flashes a fancy ornate frame, the word Gacha stamped on it, and inside glitchy pixel squares that look like they've been censored and fixed in place. The hero demands answers. What kind of revelation is this? And instantly worries it's some brand new military bombshell because he's never heard of it before. The priest studies the strange thing, and even he admits he's never seen a card like it. So he snaps into action, unleashes his own revelation power, and bam, a brand new card appears, the all-seeing eye revelation. Its ornate eye blazes with divine energy as he locks his focus on the mysterious Gat card, trying to read exactly what it is. But then, bam, those cards ripped out of his hands, and pure shock slammed into him. The priest's face hardens as he speaks to Lord Roswell, warning this could turn into a real mess. Because whatever the heir got, it looks like bad news. The priest clutches the revelation cards in trembling hands, staring at them like he can't believe what he's seeing. He can barely get his mind to catch up with what he just uncovered. The priest admits he never thought a text like that could exist in their world. But the real nightmare is worse. It outright rejects the eye of God, sealing his divination ability. Meanwhile, Oliver Roswell's face twists with rage and dread as he snaps. What does this even mean? Because if the priest is telling the truth, then what in the world is about to happen to his family and how will they stand against the kingdom? That chilling implication hangs there, heavy as night. His own son has just drawn the demon's attention. With a grim stare, the priest snaps that in a situation like this, the family doesn't stand a chance. Royal decree will wipe them out to stop corruption from spreading any further. Suddenly, the hero's eyes go wide like the whole crisis just slammed into him, while disbelief takes over his face at what he's hearing. And Oliver blurts out, begging the high priest to tell him there's got to be another way to survive this disaster. The hero watches from across the hall, scrambling to make sense of it all while searching for an alternative. The priest and Oliver huddled close, whispering like the walls were listening, and the priest pushed a brutal plan. If the heir apparent gets kicked out to some backwater territory far from the capital, they might dodge total annihilation and just shift the throne to the next heir to keep the Roswell name alive. Suddenly, Marison snaps his fingers toward his father, flashes a crooked smirk, and drops a daring idea. What if Hero was never the eldest at all? His words hit the room like a punch, and Oliver snaps his head around to stare at his younger son. Meanwhile, the heroes in the great holy hall crowd, and as those revelation cards bloom around him, flashing power after power, dragon protection, agricultural enhancements, and more. Oliver leans in, eyes locked on the stack, and confirms every single text the eldest was handed down is right there. Then someone blurts out, "There's one more card," and pushes him to take a peek. The priest stares at the truth like it's a key, and suddenly even breaking free from the kingdom feels within reach. Oliver gets it instantly, and his whole attitude flips on a dime. Then he yanks Marison in tight, pulling him close. Oliver launches into praise like he's still buzzing, saying it's exactly what he expected from his eldest then. He congratulates Marison for a job brilliantly done. Marison stands in the hall and declares, straight-faced, that he's the eldest then. Hero's voice cuts in from behind, demanding his father explain what he's talking about. Oliver and Marison huddle close, and the impact of that statement slams into the whole room like thunder. Marison steps up to the group and argues, "If we just exile the hero the way things are right now, we'll stain our family's name for good." Since Marison knows heroes dream of becoming managers or rulers one day, she pitches a wild idea: give him a slice of land to oversee, like a foster child of the family. The hero's jaw drops in full-blown shock as he hears it, while the kid erupts, shouting back at Marison, "What are you saying? I'm not some foster child." But Marison coldly snaps at him to take the hint already. Meanwhile, Oliver and Marison stride across the cathedral floor, and Oliver bluntly declares he refuses to leave this church drenched in blood. Tears start spilling from the hero's eyes as the truth hits his father is dead serious about this. Marison pushes his proposal harder, saying that since Hero's now family, his brother-in-law, they should hand him some land they can't even give their own vassals. Then Oliver shoots his hand up with pure drama, and he declares the territory he'll hand to the hero an immense stretch of the great demon forest. Oliver's face burns with intensity, sweat pouring down as he shouts this declaration, and behind him, Hero surges a step forward. He clamps his fist shut at his side. The Marison swallows his pride and humbly accepts the lordship the great demon forest has granted him. Next, the hero drops to his knees on the cathedral floor before his father and brother, made to bow as he swallows the reality of the territory he's been handed. The priest steps up and declares the Roswell family's divination ceremony officially over. Oliver insists they throw a celebration for the massive revelations his oldest son just got, and they better get everything ready fast, because someone grabs Hero and tells him to hurry up and get set to leave for his brand new territory. Marison beams at his father, and then Oliver snaps for him to come along. Right before they head out, the hero snaps, "I'm telling you this right now because this might be the last time you'll ever see them." Marison leans in and tells Hero, "I know why everyone's been eating you up. Because you were born just a few minutes earlier." Marison finally cracks and admits he's been furious with himself, all because of what happened. He can't stand the way he feels about it, then tells him, "Don't you dare get yourself killed in your own backyard," and leaves him with a final goodbye. The hero clenches his fist and vows this won't be the last time, then straight up calls out Marison. Meanwhile, the hero stands alone inside the cathedral. Bro's still locked in on territory management because in this messed up world his inner compass points the same way. This is where it all kicks off. And right then, someone spots Hero from far away. You spot his weird habit of yanking at his own arm. Then the other person finally clicks and realizes why he's even here. In a blink, he spots Hiroshi Ijima and, in a lavish study, a lone figure sinks into the shadows at his desk, already clocking who Hero really is. Later, Hero pushes deeper into the forest toward his new territory, nerves buzzing as he wonders if he's somehow gone and lost the way. He jerks around at the sudden rustling sound creeping from nearby. Then it hits him. He has to race back to his territory right now, because at this pace, he's about to land in the exact nightmare Marison predicted. As he pushes deeper through the forest, Hero can't stop thinking about this brand new territory right on the edge of the great demon forest, where monsters lurk and danger never sleeps. He remembers the rumors too. The land is brutal, and it's not meant for trade or farming at all. Still, his past life loaded him with knowledge that could ease everyone's suffering out there. On top of that, he's got a trump card tucked away for when things get truly desperate. As he strides down the forest path, something suddenly grabs his attention. He slams on the brakes and spots something up ahead. Then Hiro spots a young girl with pale hair crumpled on the ground. Chest heaving as clear panic fills every breath. He clocks that she's not okay at all and rushes straight up to her. She snapped, worried, asking if she was okay. The hero bursts over, leans in, and asks her straight up can she hear him, and can she move? But the girl groans through the pain as a wound on her back starts to ooze. He leans in and studies her injury, and the moment he sees how deep that wound runs into her back, he knows only a pro could have done anything like it but out here in the wilderness. No doctor is supposed to exist. He stops for a heartbeat, then dives into his stuff, ripping through everything to find what he needs. Ripping open his bags, he tore through everything, hunting for anything he could grab to help her. The hero finally spots what he's after, snatches it up, and raises it like a lifeline thinking, this has to be the thing that saves her. With a sharp pop, he cracks open the container and moves in fast to give the injured girl her medicine. Hero's holding is an elixir his grandfather handed him for his birthday, and it's pure magic one sip, and it can erase any wound or illness completely. One single elixir costs enough to keep some noble living in luxury for an entire lifetime, and it's the only thing he's got, the secret weapon he'll use the moment his territory management hits a dead end. Then the hero halts mid-stride, eyes sharpening as memory hits his father's words. Go east to heal a sick child, and go west to ease a tired mother's load, the one carrying heavy sheaves of rice. So the girl downs the elixir then, immediately afterward. Hero sprawls beside a building plastered in red signs, big hand of healing, loud nightingale branding promising recovery magic that's supposedly proven to work, right there at night. Suddenly, the elixir kicks in, its magic explodes, and bright light engulfs the injured girl's body. Her wounds spark with healing light, magical orbs swirl in the air around her, and the ornate seal on the ground starts twitching, fluttering, and shimmering with raw power. As the healing powers keep flowing, her face slowly sharpens into something unmistakable animal ears, like a fox or a cat twitching into view. Once the cure finishes, Hero and the girl sink onto a garden bench side by side. With the shock reveal of blonde hair and animal ears, she locks eyes with him, her voice trembling, and says, "That's amazing." He lifts the empty elixir bottle, chuckles under his breath, and basically declares, "Yep, that's the kind of power my whole fortune used to buy." The hero spots the seal and can't stop wondering, was there really a skill called benevolence? And did its cover always show it on the front? Right there, the circular stamp screams it loud and clear. Benevolence stamped up on the surface. He drops down beside the blonde girl on the bench, watching her now as she rests peacefully. And when he finally looks at her the right way, he sees her clothes shredded to absolute tatters. Yet he forces himself to focus on the only thing that counts. She's okay. So the hero realizes this is his moment, tightens his grip, and gets ready to strike. Meanwhile, the story jumps up to the sky, where birds wheel overhead like they own the clouds. The blonde girl jerks awake, blinks at the world in confusion, and blurts out, "Where am I?" The hero sits close, asks how she's doing, and the fox girl jerks upright, ears perked and her tail fully out in the open, and presses Hero for answers, demanding to know what he did while she was out cold. The hero's eyes went wide when he finally saw her animal features crystal clear for the first time. The girl scrambles to recall everything, then freezes when she realizes her cloak is ripped open. And the hero shrugs, saying he was only patching her hood after it got torn up. He thrusts the repaired black cloak into her hands and promises, "I'm handing it back to you right now." The fox girl snaps her cloak back into place and sinks it snugly on her shoulders. She's finally all dressed in that stunning black and white outfit, stares straight at the hero and demands to know, was it really him who saved her? Then he pauses for a beat, hesitation flickering across his face, before he finally speaks again. Hero strides into a forest clearing and introduces himself to the fox girl, blurting out that he's the Roswell family's eldest son, then quickly snapping it back to foster child, before finally saying, "And my name is Hero." Hero keeps going. He says he was heading straight to his territory up ahead when he suddenly saw her sprawled on the road, bleeding out with a brutal injury. He tells her he used the medicine he'd been carrying to heal her, because with no doctors anywhere near, he had to step up right then. The fox girl squints hard, then snaps that he'll never pull the wool over her eyes. She lays into him, screaming that he's a slave trader. Or worse, some mountain bandit, because humans love nothing more than capturing and enslaving demi-humans. She straight up calls the Roswell family high-ranking nobles and the ones who command Asgard's royal knights, so there's absolutely no way someone with that kind of status would show up here without being part of the crowd. The fox girl snaps that there's no way he's got medicine strong enough to heal a wound that bad, and right as she says it, the empty elixir bottle clinks as it slips from his hands. Suddenly, the fox girl freezes and stares at the ornament on the ground like she's just seen a ghost. She finally spots the truth: this ornament is just a hollow elixir bottle, and stamped on it is the family crest. Hiro admits he only had one shot, and you can tell he's relieved it actually worked. Meanwhile, the fox girl just freezes, eyes wide, trying to absorb what she just heard. She demands to know why he'd waste a priceless medicine on a beast man he's never laid eyes on. The hero pauses, eyes locked on the question, and thinks like it might bite. He muttered to himself that no elixir, no matter how precious, could ever beat the value of a single life. He can't help but wonder, saving someone who's moments from death, is that really the weirdest thing anyone could do? The fox girl's sharp expression melts into something warm the moment she hears his answer. Then the fox girl beams, real joy bursting out of her, and tells him it's the very first time she's ever seen a noble say something like that without flinching. As she moves to a new spot in the forest, Hiro tells her straight up that, yeah, his noble status is looking pretty shaky right now. He tells them that, because of some brutal circumstances, he's been kicked out and can't stay with his family anymore. And since he was treated like a foster kid, they handed him the job of becoming the lord of the land ahead. The fox girl stares at the empty elixir bottle swinging like a necklace and blurts, "He's just like me." Hiro Steen stares, totally baffled, and blurts, "Wait, what do you mean?" But the fox girl leans in and tells him she's the black sheep of her own kind, too. She steps up, introduces herself like a threat, and declares, "I'm Amelia, and I'm a war cat." She tells Hiro it's her people's rule: you never ignore a debt, you repay it. Then, right in front of him, she spins her story like a blade, insisting that for something as priceless as an elixir, she owes him a favor so huge it could crack the sky. Meanwhile, out on the road, Hiro and Amelia stand side by side until Amelia spots something off and snaps into alarm. She leans in and demands to know what's wrong with him. But then Amelia blurts that enemies are lurking nearby, and he snaps back, asking if she's talking about the ones who hurt her. He shoots back in pure frustration when Amelia clears it up. "No, it's not like that. She's talking about the guys standing right over there." Deep in the forest, 4 bandits huddled in the shadows, staring at them. One of them grinned and said, "Man, he got lucky. We found a lone noble kid all by himself." But another bandit sneered, "No way, they didn't expect a beast man to be guarding him." Amelia catches it in their conversation somehow. It all sounds like they're aiming at the hero. She leans in and tells him, "I'm going to pay you back for that favor I owe you right here, right now. Just let me return part of that debt." Amelia tells the heroes she'll grab their attention, then she snaps, "Use that window to run." The hero straight up asks, "Can I really take on that many of them all at once?" Amelia admits she doesn't believe she can. She tells him war cats are built for battle, but then admits she's the weakest of the bunch. Like, she doesn't even think she can survive against those mountain bandits. Still, she snaps into action anyway. Amelia looses arrow after arrow into the bandits, swearing she'll buy Hiro just enough time to bolt for safety, then the shots slam home with brutal impact. The hero screams at Amelia to stop right now. Meanwhile, the bandits snarled at her, screaming that she was a stinking bitch, then mocking her for how much she talked for a little kitty. Then Amelia rockets into close quarters combat with the bandits, and one of them swears he's got her trapped. Then the hero's danger sense snaps on, his awareness spikes, and right as that happens, Amelia feels the danger too. A bandit lunges to strike, but the hero snaps back with a brutal counter. Hiro warns them not to underestimate him as the battle rages on, and he steps in to join the fight. Then Amelia lunges forward and smashes the bandit with a brutal claw-extended slam, dropping him in a single overwhelming hit. The bandit's face screams that he's been utterly crushed. Amelia looms over her defeated opponent and proudly declares she's a noble war cat. And she leans in and tells them, right to their face, they're a little different from the typical house cat, but one bandit spots it. Just Amelia, alone in Hero, realizes the truth. No matter how deadly those war cats are, they're finished the moment they close in on her. His spatial movement ability card pops up and it screams explosive power at a brutal 4.0. Suddenly, the power detonates into action. Multiple figures rocket across the battlefield, shifting positions in the blink of an eye. The hero kicks on his spatial movement power, ripping open a massive displacement that warps everything in its path. He screams at the bandits to freeze, and then teleportation magic rips through the whole area with a crushing blast of power, sending violent shockwaves across the forest floor and tearing the last bandits apart in total chaos. Amelia unleashes a crushing combo attack that leaves no room to breathe. A bandit swings in to curse her, but she's already launched airborne and unstoppable, crashing down with brutal clawed fist blows. Her blows slam in with ruthless precision, dropping the bandits in a heap. Then she rises, victorious. She towered over her fallen opponents. She pumped her fist in pure, victorious satisfaction. Then Amelia slams another brutal, earth-shaking punch into the bandit. The impact slammed through the forest, echo after echo. The bandit groans in agony, stunned that the thing he thought was just a cat's punch. Meanwhile, Amelia flashes a confident grin and asks him, "So, want another one?" She slams another bandit with a brutal strike. His body folds in on itself from the sheer force. But she realizes, straight in her own mind, that she can't take them all down alone, because every enemy is still standing strong. She blurts, "Hero, get out of here, now." And Hero answers. But his voice wavers like he can't quite bring himself to leave her behind. Suddenly, Amelia stands over the defeated bandits, staring around like she can't believe her eyes because every last enemy is already wiped out. Hero grins, gives her a thumbs up, and blasts, "You're stronger than you think," calling out how she's way too humble for pretending she's weak. Then it finally clicks. This fight is done, because every last bandit lies sprawled out on the ground, knocked out cold. After the fight, Amelia freezes in the forest, still trying to wrap her head around what just happened. She swears it felt like power surged into her out of nowhere, and now her techniques cut sharper than ever. She can't shake the thought, what if that elixir the hero gave her somehow caused it? But then, she finally realizes the elixirs don't boost technique mastery at all. On the dusty ground, one defeated bandit whispers that this kid might have some beast tamer trick up his sleeve, while the other snarls back that elixirs are absolutely not supposed to work like that. Amelia snaps tense, yells at Hero to freeze, don't move a muscle, and right then, a danger sense card blooms in front of them, flashing that some upgraded awareness power just kicked in. Someone spots the danger in the man closing in. Then the hero yanks Amelia into a protective hold, and both of them feel the threat creeping right toward them. Meanwhile, Amelia turns and walks off as the narration loudly insists this man is pure danger, no questions asked. Hero keeps Amelia pressed close in the background, and she hesitates, then finally blurts out that she doesn't get what he means. "Why is that guy so dangerous?" Then Amelia confesses she heard nothing at all from that man, no footsteps, no breath. She couldn't even feel him lurking in her space. She goes on to explain that war cats have a skill called danger sense, and the ability card hints it's meant to keep them locked in, with sharp awareness of everything around them at all times. Someone blurts out that her skill is straight up incredible, then slams the brakes and warns her not to get cocky with her powers, because a single misstep can be dangerous. Right then, a sword slices through the air, and Amelia snaps back, insisting she's not overconfident at all. The mysterious figure leans in and says, "With the right grind and real training, even humans can nail stunts like this." Amelia snaps, "So what do you want with us?" And the guy just shrugs like it's nothing. "I've got to tie up a few loose ends, so what else?" Suddenly, a huge bandit boss stomps in, screams at his fallen crew like they're taking the world's worst nap, and roars for them to get their asses up. The crushed bandits snap their heads up in shock because their boss just stormed in to save them. The boss snaps that their luck is officially done, and he orders everyone to brace themselves because it's showtime and he's coming to take them out. The whole crew rolls up their sleeves. Then the bandit boss snaps out of nowhere and face plants the dirt, pure rage spilling out. Breathing hard, he kept apologizing like he'd unleashed a storm. And now the other bandits were all down on the ground, too fully defeated, hanging their heads in total submission. Meanwhile, Hero Amelia and that mysterious, deadly man just loom over them, silent and terrifying. The bandit boss steps up and flashes a grin. I'm Smirnov. And the truth hits hard. He's the mastermind keeping the whole crew under control. He calls them honorable outlaws instead of bandits, and they swear by one ironclad rule: never lay a finger on law-abiding people. But then one of his lackeys gripes that the rules got them starving, and the guy snaps back that they can't survive on just grass and booze. Smirnov yells back, "Who cares about a little hunger?" Then Smirnov hammers his fist into one of his subordinates and snaps that none of them will stain the name of heaven. Because that's just how the Smirnov family runs. He straight up admits that disciplining his own guys is on him. Tells Hero and Amelia he'd love to make it up to them, but says their pockets are bone dry right now. He rips through his stuff, then leans in and drops the shocking offer he's got for them. Smirnov lifts a bag like he's got a magic loophole and asks if they'll actually let him go with just that. Confusion hits hard when someone asks about his head, and he stares at what they're offering like he can't believe his eyes. Smirnov straight up says he's not offering anything else, he's offering his head. Turns out the item is a wanted posture that Smirnov personally goes after. Then someone spots it and yells that it's an S-rank bounty. Amalia leans in and studies his posture, then fires off one sharp question. Does this bounty top the cost of an elixir? Hero and Amalia dig in deeper, and there it is, right on the mark. He's labeled a sword saint, and when someone spots that title, they gasp, because that's the very top rank a swordsman can ever reach. The bandits break into panic, blurting to their boss, "Don't do it!" Then they swear up and down that if anyone's paying the price, it should be them. Smirnov snarls at them, yelling for them to shut their mouths. Smirnov drops a bombshell declaration, says the Smirnov family is done with hoodlums, cuts them all off on the spot, and orders them to crawl back to the countryside to scrape by doing odd jobs, no excuses. Smirnov screams, "I don't want to see your faces again," as the bandits bolt down the forest path. And just like that, rustling leaves erupt through the air as they vanish into the thick vegetation. After he disowned his men and shoved them away, Smirnov strides up onto the raised path and screams at them to get back here right now, his eyes blazing. Then a tear slips down his cheek as someone yanks him into what looks like his wanted stance. Smirnov suddenly rockets off his spot, metal clanging loudly as he slams down with brutal force. WAMOS. A massive impact shakes everything. Down below, the bandits shout to their boss, and one of them blurts out, "So does this mean we're finally out of the crew?" Smirnov's smirk snaps into raw shock. He can't process what he's seeing, because right in front of the group stands a towering, hulking minotaur. Standing over them like a nightmare, battle axe clenched tight, the figure finally clicks in someone's mind. It's a minotaur. Tourists stare in disbelief like, why the hell is something that amazing even here? The minotaur rockets ahead with terrifying speed, smashing through everything in its path. The hero braces himself in place as Amelia wobbles, then crashes hard to the ground. The mysterious, dangerous man lurked nearby. Smirnov screams at them, demanding to know what they're doing, then orders them to run. Hero and Amelia sprint away as the charging beast barrels toward them, and the shock slams in. Once that thing hooks on, they won't leave a single trace behind. But then, boom, someone yells that they refuse to let anyone else die. Smirnov rockets forward, weapon raised, yelling at the hero beast tamer boy, then demands to know if he's got any skill to calm this thing down. The hero shoots back, "I'm not some beast tamer. Why would I have skills like that?" Smirnov clenches his weapon so tight his knuckles ache, then understands there's no way out now. Smirnov barrels straight into the minotaur, weapon held high, shouting that this nightmare ends with him, and as he slams into the beast, metal screams through the impact. It blasted through the ground with a savage impact, kicking up dust and debris like a storm. Meanwhile, Amelia hangs back and watches the chaos explode. Smirnov keeps squaring off with the minotaur head on, while Hero and Amelia stand right behind him, locked in. The bandit boss barks at Hero to snatch the Missy and bolt. This is his only shot, but Amelia snaps right away, protesting hard because there's no way they can do that, or he'll be stranded alone to face the monster. Hero yanks Amelia close and orders her to get out fast, then says they should hunt down Smirnov's friends and beg them for help. Amelia's face crumples with dread as the truth hits. She blurts out that the creature followed her all the way here, and if this keeps going, she's going to get everyone dragged into danger because of her. Hiro pieces it together on the spot, hounding Amelia's trail with one sharp question. Did the Minotaur stalk her too? Because if the beast was on her heels, then maybe that is why Amelia got hurt. Amelia drops her gaze, apologizes to Hiro, and begs him to forget about her, then sprint. Don't stop. Meanwhile, Smirnov is screaming from the front lines, blasting them for hiding in the back like, "What are you even doing? Are you going on a date or what?" The hero cranes his neck at the Minotaur and instantly realizes what's coming next. He can't believe his eyes. There's no way this beast's move is real, he insists, like it has to be some sick joke. Because even though it's a bull, its mouth suddenly lights up and starts pouring out blazing energy. Then the Minotaur roars and blasts a wall of fire, flames exploding outward like a living inferno and tearing everything apart. Amelia darts into position between the hero and the roaring flames, screams that she'll take the blast for him, and yells at him to hurry up and run already. Fire gushes at them in a scorching rush, and Amelia steels herself ready to take the full blast just to shield Hiro. Hiro snaps to the truth as the flames roar closer, knowing he'll die protecting someone in this world too. And in that instant, a wild burst of mystical cards and books of forbidden knowledge floods his mind with ancient wisdom, ruthless taboos, hard-earned sagacity, and revelation after revelation. The hero realizes that meeting death like this doesn't feel anywhere near as horrible as he thought. Then Hiro flings his arms wide, unleashes a power, and a shield of swirling energy snaps into place as he steps between Amelia and the oncoming flames. Amelia spots something off and blurts out, "Is it supposed to be this hot?" Before he can even figure out what's happening, a summoning circle bursts onto the ground and the hero's eyes widen like, this could be his answer at last. Amelia knows she has to hit back somehow, but even if she manages to block those flames, nothing changes, because the fire keeps chewing through everything around them. The hero remembers that mind-blowing revelation, the one the high priest couldn't even decipher, and he realizes it's his only shot left right now. With fire roaring in front of him and his arms stretched wide, the hero blurts out that he has zero clue what this power even is. Heck, he can't even figure out how to trigger it. White feathers flutter around him as he steels himself to try anyway. Then the hero clings to his resolve. No matter if the high priest's warning turns out to be true, no matter how deadly this really is, because it's the only thing he has left. That hard, determined look on his face says it all. He's decided to unleash this mysterious power. Risks be damned. Meanwhile, the hero stands frozen in place, surrounded by hovering pictures of every revelation card he pulled during his ceremony, powers and knowledge swirling around him like fate itself. And it hits him. This is the last hope he's got. The hero blurts out, "This is my skill." Then flips over a Gacha card, studying it closely as it lays out exactly how the whole scheme works. Turns out he can earn divine favors just by how many times he's swallowed hardship and sacrificed himself. Then those rewards get logged, and the gods might bless him with treasures and powers. Suddenly, the hero snaps into it. This whole system is just Gacha dressed up as a dream, and he admits he's never really won a single lottery thing in his past life. But you can't hesitate anymore. Time is running out right now. The divine lottery kicks off like a spark igniting fate. Then a blazing skill card materializes, and pure electric energy floods the whole space. Amelia stretches upward as a massive divine angel manifestation towers overhead, waiting to snatch whatever the Gacha system decides to hand them. A blazing divine light spits out a book and drops it toward Amelia, and she freezes, staring up as angelic power keeps forming all around her. This book has a weird, gentle pull to it, like it's innocent in a way the other revelations never were. Amelia snatches the book, flips it open, and right there in her hands, the legendary divine dragon text finally reveals itself, its ornate dragon emblem blazing across the cover. Her eyes flare wide as she finally realizes what just appeared, because this isn't just shocking, it's absolutely incredible. As she flips the book open, it erupts into a glowing light, and intricate magical circles and diagrams spill across the pages like they've been waiting for her. But Amelia barely catches the magic shifting before it explodes into something new, a giant white egg, wrapped in ornate bands etched with ancient script, slams into view, and she just freezes, staring, trying to process how that even happened. Then it all snaps into place in Amelia's head, because this came straight from the words of the divine dragon. That's it. The divine dragon's egg, right there, in its purest form. She steels herself, snatches her courage right back, and commits to her choice. Amelia shouts at the egg, ordering the divine dragon to burst forth. She bursts out to shield them from the fire, but right in the middle of it, she freezes because she spots something. She spots the drifting instruction manual, and everything clicks. This divine dragon takes forever to power up, demands the right setup and the perfect place to break through, has a list of favorite foods, and it will absolutely rage if someone it doesn't like is anywhere nearby. She warns the hero to stay alert, and she explains that they'll all be. She could be reduced to cinders right here if this goes wrong, so she's on edge, wondering if asking Mr. Divine Dragon to protect them is just asking for too much. Hero and Amelia plant themselves on the dead, barren ground, a divine dragon egg sitting between them, until someone spots something coming fast. Suddenly, a massive explosion detonates with terrifying force, blasting the ground and whipping shockwaves across the entire terrain. Amelia shields, her hero barely standing, gets swallowed by brutal blast winds that rip through the whole area. When the dust finally clears, Amelia calls out, fast pushing, "Are you both okay?" Hero finally clocks what she just pulled off. She just saved them, and now he's scrambling to make sense of the chaos. When someone blurts out, "It's non-stop insanity, one wild thing after another," I can't help but nod. First the Minotaurus, and now this. Then, boom! A colossal ancient dragon rips into view, and with antlers, blazing wings, and sheer presence, it looms over them like a living nightmare. Amelia snaps to attention the second she senses the danger and admits, straight up, that even she can't handle something like that. A massive dragon glares down at them, spits that they're lower life forms, and he spits that he won't even deal with both of them at once. But then the dragon snaps and unleashes pure fury straight at the Minotaur, smashing it with bone-cracking force while yelling "Cowhead." The dragon roars that its empty stomach has it in a rotten mood, and the Minotaur's non-stop snorting and snoring won't calm it down for a second. Then it growls that if it can't get to the Minotaur to eat, violence is the only thing left. It clocked a mouth-watering smell in the air, like the cow creature's own fire breath had roasted bits of itself. But the closer you look, the truth hits hard. Every dried-in part of the Minotaur is completely inedible. Meanwhile, Amelia blurts out, wondering if that dragon is here to help them. The dragon explodes with a brutal breath attack, blasting the battlefield in a massive, unstoppable show of power. Smirnoff smirks and says that a dragon actually helping humans is the kind of miracle you only hear about in legends. The dragon casually nods, like it's checking a box, and it seals the whole verdict. So someone questions why a proud, noble dragon would ever lift a claw to help humans, and the dragon just smirks, saying it showed up only because it sensed one of its own nearby. Then the Dryden snaps, demanding to know where they got that egg from, because the moment hits them, that presence was there the whole time. Amelia squirmed and admitted she didn't really understand. It just slipped out of her on its own. The dragon weighs in on the news, and you can practically see it getting what's going on. The ancient dragon roars that it's taking command of the dragon egg, snapping that it can't be left out here like nothing. The Myronov brace themselves as the massive beast makes its declaration. The dragon says that egg is a sacred keepsake from the divine dragon, then growls that letting humans get their hands on it would be a slap in the face to all dragons. Meanwhile, the ornate egg sits on the ground between them, and Amelia's face tightens with worry as the dragon keeps talking. Even if it all happened by pure luck, don't you dare forget the dragon saved your life. Now it turns back and bids farewell to the human child. But then Hyrif suddenly bursts into speech. He tells the dragon that this egg is a gift the gods handed him. Then the dragon goes rigid with shock, and Hero blurts out, "Please, will you let me take care of it instead?" The dragon unfurls its massive wings, thunder rumbling with pure fury at this audacious request. Amelia panics, snaps that this is beyond bad, like they just crossed a line they can't uncross. Smirnov steps up, grinning through the fear, and vows to keep the dragon busy so the others can bolt and vanish as fast as they possibly can. Someone blurts out an apology for everything that went down. The dried-in lets out a dry little sound, then straight up admits it was just its stomach growling. The three adventurers just freeze, staring in stunned confusion at this shocking revelation. Then the dragon finally fesses up it packed on a little extra weight from that rich diet, and that sudden burst of wild motion made its head reel and its joints scream in pain. The massive creature says it's in the middle of a fasting diet, but then boom, its body drops to the ground, stomach growling like a threat, as it mourns that it's lost the strength to fly. Smirnoff snaps at the dragon to get its act together, and someone else jumps in like, "Yeah, and stop freaking us out with those stomach girls." Meanwhile, the dragon's belly keeps growling louder and louder, but right then Amelia's cheeks flare red when her own stomach lets out a tiny, humiliating growl, and she whispers an apology like, "Sorry." With the chaos finally fading, the hero sheepishly admits he's starving and Smirnoff shoots back that he's just as hungry. Smirnoff grumbles that his hideouts only ever served up grass and booze, so when they claim they're hungry, it doesn't do him much good at all. Then it hits him. He snaps that his bag actually has food in it. Amelia finally drops her secret she's holding artifacts her people have passed down for generations, and then she slaps down a mountain of pork with soy sauce, sugar, and salt, plus a fistful of warming herbs to heat up the whole body. The hero's eyes flare the instant he spots the soy sauce, and he blurts out, all excited, "Wait, do you really have it?" Meanwhile, the dragon wrinkles its nose at the bottles, demanding to know why this sauce is supposed to be so legendary. The hero steps in with total confidence, tells them to hand it to him, and swears they'll never regret trusting him. Now the stage is set. Hero is about to whip up a meal for this bizarre group. Later, the ancient dragon sinks its fangs into the food with pure joy, then roars that the cooking is absolutely divine. Smirnoff gulps drink after drink, and he can't stop himself for a second. While that massive dragon keeps chewing through its meal, the group can't believe their luck and chow down on a totally unexpected feast in a forest clearing. Hero bursts in with the food he cooked, bragging that he whipped up a sizzling ginger fry and a bandit's hot pot just to set the mood. The ancient dragon and Amelia devour their food with pure excitement, while Hero grins and tells them he's thrilled it matches exactly what they like. Amelia digs in and goes, "This hot pot stuff is so crunchy and crazy good. What did you use to make it?" The hero raises a slime creature like proof, and when he reveals he fed it using the slimes right nearby, the dragon hits him with pure, jaw-dropping shock. The hero tells everyone, the maid said it's actually edible, so he begged them to teach him how to fillet it, and yeah, it looks horrifying, but once he takes a bite, it tastes way better than you'd ever expect. He jokes that they're everywhere, like seriously everywhere, then tells everyone to dig in and eat to their heart's content. Right then, someone blurts out that they've been dying to ask the two of them something. Smirnoff demands to know what brought them here, and when he realizes this is a deadly zone, even adventurers dodge, it hits hard. This isn't some noble taking a casual stroll. The hero tells her, "I was on my way to my territory up ahead, and just when I thought I'd keep going, I stumbled right over Amelia collapsed on the roadside." When someone pushed him to explain what happened, Amelia fires back that she's the black sheep of her kind, and honestly, she just craved the challenge. The hero leans in and asks, "Wait, are you really taking on that Minotaurus as the challenge?" And Amelia straight up admits he could say that. Hero tells her, "Good thing I had that elixir on me." Then explains how that's exactly why she ended up this brutally hurt. Suddenly, Smirnoff snaps into panic, screaming if Hero was really claiming he used an elixir on a collapsed beastman he doesn't even know. Then he demands to know how Hero could have gotten something that valuable in the first place, and Hero blurts out that it was a gift from his grandfather. The dragon clocks that this is one of the kingdom's great noble families, and it can't help but notice Hero's got his own messy circumstances. The hero leans in and tells them, "I was born the eldest son of the Roswell family. He didn't get the skills he was promised, so his family flipped the plan and raised his little brother as the heir, making him the foster child and handing him lordship over the great forest." Smirnoff snorts that it's exile and everything but the title. No cozy uncon's life for nobles, not even close. Still, Hero's got luck riding shotgun, and Smirnoff adds with a grin that taking his head won't just be enough, It'll be the biggest trophy in the world to repay every ounce of Hiro's suffering. Then Hiro drops the bombshell. He's not turning back, and he's definitely not about to take Smirnoff's head either. Smirnoff digs at the fact that there's basically nothing the hero can do since he's dirt poor. But the hero snaps back that he'd rather stay broke forever than betray the man who just saved his life. Then somebody shouts at the hero to look, and it hits hard. There's a cap on how much he can keep being kind, because if he does, he'll never get anything back. But Hiro just shrugs it off and says, "That's fine." The hero lays it all out. He wants to become the kind of person who reaches out to anyone in need and throws their happiness first, even if it costs him his own. He says it again because that's exactly the kind of person he's determined to become. Smirnoff smirks at that and boldly says, "Yeah, we've got one hell of a nice guy right here." Meanwhile, someone blurts, "What about the girl? She's coming with my lord, right?" And Amelia nods, grinning as she says she'll pay him back bit by bit for that elixir. Right here, someone calls out to Emma's Lord Hero and puts the whole situation into his hands. Then Smirnoff smirks and asks, "So what, we're making our underlings heroes too?" He says they can handle any job that demands brute strength, no doubt. He says they might be bandits right now, but deep down, they're good people. And if anybody brings up Nillard, then he's ready to step in with his fists if it comes to that. The hero nods along, but draws a hard line: no violence, no stealing. Got it? In Smirnoff just smirks like, "Yeah, obviously." They locked eyes, shook hands hard, and floating cards blazed around them, castle blueprints, and all kinds of juicy info spinning in midair. The moment you feel their bodies sway as one, the whole scene flips like a switch. Meanwhile, the ancient dragon leans in and demands, "So you're really leaving me out of this?" Amelian's nose catches the sharp stink of alcohol, but the dragon barrels on, demanding Hiro speak the words because Hiro's cooking has totally bewitched him, and then it starts piling on the compliments until it sounds like he just might finally let Hiro handle the divine dragon's egg. The dragon rumbles that this is what makes them sworn friends, then snaps, "Am I wrong?" And the hero fires back, "If that's what you say, then yes," to an ancient dragon. The dragon grins and says he's craving even more delicious meals from the hero. He'll shoot back with an answer, and next time, he'll push to make it healthier. Then boom, a card slams onto the scene, flashing the ring of health like a punchline from fate. They blurter out in shock, staring at what they just realized. An ancient dragon looms over the hero, his massive body towering so high it swallows the sky in shadow right in front of the unlord. The dragon snaps into a grin and says the fog in his mind is finally gone. Then boom, his body feels brand new. Even his aching joints stop hurting on the spot. He keeps going, insisting it feels like he's been turned back 1,000 years and that his senses are even sharper than they were before. Then the ancient dragon flaps his massive wings and roars that he's craving another 1,000 servings of that ginger fry. Right this second then, he declares he's hunting demon boars and orders Hiro to run the kitchen. The dragon roars as it powers up, energy ripping through its veins, and Hiro can only stare while the ancient beast fully restored jets ready to launch into the sky. Hiro is freaking out, screaming that he's got nowhere near enough seasonings to make 1,000 servings. Then someone just stares and asks, "Is that seriously what you're worried about right now?" Later on, the whole crew huddles up, staring down the road ahead, and someone blurts out, "Yeah, we've got no clue about half of this." But right then, they all agree on one thing. This hero's kindness is endless. Smirnoff flashes a grin at Hiro, declaring he's the new boss, then tells him things are about to get way more fun, and that he'll be relying on Hiro from here on out. Amelia snaps back in shock, asking what Smirnoff meant by boss, and Hiro fires back that he's a lord, not the boss of some bandit crew. But the bandits throw a celebration anyway, hoisting Hiro into the air and parading him around like a trophy with pure, wild enthusiasm. Together, the whole crew crashes out into the forest, bandits bowing to Hiro as their new leader, even as he fights back with protests. A voice slithers out of the shadows saying it's been forever, and it calls Smirnoff out by name. Then, boom, a mysterious cloaked, armored figure steps into view beside the hero and with zero hesitation announces they're here to take Smirnoff's life. The mystery figure and the hero finally lock eyes, turning toward the distance where Smirnoff and his crew stand in plain sight. Smirnoff snaps back at the threat, tells Richard he won't sugarcoat anything, then hits him with the real question. Why is Richard even here, since Smirnoff never asked for some Dark Guild bounty hunter? Suddenly, Hiro snaps because the Dark Guild is in this, and it all clicks from the way his father used to mention them. They're a shadowy crew that dives into the jobs nobody can touch: assassinations, robberies, kidnappings, even torture. And some folks swear they're the puppeteers pulling the government's strings. Richard leans in and tells Smirnoff just how far he's crashed. This was once the Holy City's night order, Hope, and now he's out here brawling with bandits just to scrape together pocket money. Smirnoff smirks and shoots back a question about falling, flipping it right onto Richard. Smirnoff flashes a grin and snaps back. Richard loves to talk, even though he started life in a wealthy, noble family before dropping straight into the life of a mountain bandit. Amelia freezes in shock, blurting out, "Wait, was Smirnoff really a noble?" Smirnoff smirks back, "Do you seriously have to ask?" And no matter how she stares at him, it's painfully clear he was born into nobility. The whole group reels at the shock, and Amelia can't shake it. Every time she stares, all she sees is a bandit. Then someone murmurs, "We thought he was a savage," while another voice adds, "Guess we'll remember this." Then Smirnoff leans in and spills his past because he didn't just fall, not really. Those nobles kept stuffing their own pockets with brutal taxes, and that disgust lit a fuse in him. So he snapped his ties with his family for good. Richard shrugs. Why it happened won't even matter now, because Smirnoff is going to die right here. But Smirnoff grins and shuts Richard down, saying it won't be nearly that easy, because he's got a work hat on his side. Then a brand new voice cuts in, saying, "I thought I heard someone I knew." And suddenly they're asking about a war cat. Suddenly, a white-haired war cat bursts onto the scene, and it greets Amelia like no time passed. Then it mutters, "It's been a while." Amelia gasped in shock, stunned, speechless, like her voice got trapped in her throat. The white-haired war cat grins and points. "So this is where Amelia's been." Then she fires back, asking if Amelia even had a reason to show up here, forcing Amelia to finally slip out an explanation. The white-haired war cat leans in and whispers that maybe Amelia slipped into the Great Forest to hunt for the ruins, because that's where Artemis's bow, people's treasure, is locked away. The war cat snarls at Amelia, mocking her for failing like the village's weakest, most useless black sheep could ever pull it off. After everything, there's just no stopping it now. The white-haired war cat fires up again, insisting it's all because of those eyes of hers. Then he dives into the memories, replaying the time everyone crowned Amelia a child prodigy with that bow, so much so she even tried to mentor her like Amelia was the real hotshot. The war cat leans in and asks if Amelia remembers, then blurts, "Who would have guessed your eyesight would have suddenly tanked like that?" and grins, saying she'll admit it. She actually loved watching Amelia's world get flipped upside down. The white-haired war cat slings insults while she crouches on the ground, laughing at everyone below her. And when she brings up the time she gave Amelia fighting lessons, she basically says, "Back then, you couldn't even land a hit on my back." And you can still see how wrecked and frustrated Amelia looked in those moments. And even now, every time Amelia remembers the face from that memory, shivers tear down her spine like it just happened. Amelia snaps with shock and fury at every single mocking jab. Richard warned Smirnoff, called him "my lord," begging him to ditch the plan, warning him that if Smirnoff went ahead, he'd be lucky to survive at all. He tells them the Dark Guild isn't some low-rent crew of street scum. Every single member is deadly skilled, capable of taking on 1,000 soldiers, and strong enough to be real heroes if they just put their power to the right use. Then, Richard can't stop replaying that moment when he tangled with Smirnoff in the Holy City's swordsmanship tournament, and admits it took everything just to land a single hit. Now that idiot's only gotten stronger since. Meanwhile, the white-haired war cat sneers that if Hiro had just rushed in head first, that little boy would have been the first victim. Someone basically admits, "Yeah, we don't call Smirnoff a sword sink for nothing." The war cat leans in and swears he's got the sharpest eye in the battlefield. Since they're such good friends, she makes a deal on the spot. She'll give Amelia one single chance. The white-haired war cat snaps at Amelia, promising her one free hit. She leans in and tells Amelia to lock in, aim for the vitals, and if she's lucky as hell, she might finally drop her. Amelia freezes in pure shock, eyes locked on exactly what she's seeing. But Smirnoff leans in and reassures Amelia, swearing everything's going to be okay because the god of war is on their side. He pats her gently, betting she can end it in one strike. Then he leans in with a bold suggestion to Amelia, urging her on. Amelia shakes her head, panicking that her eyes are useless and insisting there's no way she can pull this off. Smirnoff leans in and tells Amelia, just try your best, give it everything you've got. If it doesn't click, we'll bolt and make a run for it. Amelia grabs his thanks and promises, I'll give it my all. Amelia steels herself, declares she's going after it. And in her mind, she tells herself it's no different than drawing a bow, something she's done 1,000 times. She narrows her eyes, locks in her focus, steadies her racing heart, and then fires everything she's got straight at the target. Then she unleashes the shot like a bomb, only for the white-haired war cat to snatch the arrow out of the air with her bare hand. And Amelia just freezes in full-blown shock, staring at what she's witnessing. She can't wrap her head around it. No chance, she definitely nailed it. Then the white-haired war cat crumples to the ground with a crushing thud. And right there, someone calls it out, beasts don't change. They just do beast things, plain and simple. Meanwhile, Richard snaps at them after their lucky win in playtime, telling them not to get cocky, even calling them idiots. And then he declares the gap between him and all of them is crystal clear, because his massacre starts right now. Smirnoff nods along, yeah, that's exactly it. And trust me, that isn't a small shift, it's a huge difference. Then Smirnoff leans in and tells Richard, fine, I'll let you die like a swordsman. Richard begins to say he'd better be thankful, or else. They slam together in a thunderous blast of power, and Smirnoff unveils a crucial truth right after. When he said there was a huge difference, he wasn't talking in circles. He meant one thing. He's on a whole different level, because the hit from their collision rattles the entire area. Then Richard crumples to the ground, beaten and broken. Smirnoff loomed over him and screamed that his cowardly fighting style was exactly how bandits fought. Suddenly, Hero Roswell bursts onto the scene with his arms crossed and a cocky grin. Then he laughs and announces himself as the brand new Lord of the Great Forest. Someone spits out, "This is pure bullshit," under their breath. Hero whips around to Amelia and snaps, "How long are you gonna nap?" Then he slams the new plan down. "Forget it, we're hunting that brat." Amelia nods like she gets the message, but Smirnoff steps in, locks eyes with them, and asks, "Do you still feel so tough after seeing that?" Meanwhile, someone shouts to their lord, swearing that if he doesn't show up, his ginger fry supply is about to disappear for good. A brutal impact rips across the battlefield like a bomb, and someone freezes in total disbelief at what just materialized. Right out of nowhere, the ancient dragon shifts into its deer form. Those massive antlers tower over everyone like a living nightmare. Smirnoff stares skyward, mouth gaping in disbelief, stumbling over, "What the hell is this thing?" As Amelia jerks her gaze up in pure terror, demanding answers. Why is a legendary monster here? Hero and Amelia stood shoulder to shoulder, staring up at the beast towering over them. And when this ancient dragon surveyed the whole group, it demanded, "Who are you?" Then one of them blurted that those were the people who claimed they wanted to kill Boss Hero. The dragon's face hardens, and it snarls at them for daring to mess with its dinner. Then it snaps back, insisting it meant its sworn friend and declaring dead serious that now they're the ones who going to become its dinner. And terrified screams rip through the air, echoing off everyone trapped below. Then the dragon rips the air open with a monstrous roar, and just like that, boom, the fight is over and everyone crumples to the ground. The dragon glares down and snaps, "Is it over already?" Then waves them off like a bunch of complete dead weight. Meanwhile, amid the wreckage, someone blurts, "Did you go too far?" And the next voice snaps back, "If we don't hit this hard, they'll come running right back for round 2 aimed at us." Amelia stared in shock at her own power, realizing she never thought she could unleash an attack that brutal. Smirnoff leans in and tells her, "I already said it. The god of war is on our side." Someone leans in and straight up asks Smirnoff what this god of war he's been hyping is really supposed to be. A voice cuts through the crowd. Someone demands to know if Lord Hero can command an army. Hero nods and admits he's got a few, then slaps down skill cards for military command, a fortress-ready castle, and even repository management. The hero honestly admits he can't help but wish he was a lot stronger himself deep down. But Smirnov says those effects pile up stack after stack until they go absolutely insane in strength, and that's when the real identity of the god of war finally lights up. He tells Hero that, as a lord, his power isn't like theirs, different rules, different strength, and then the whole group finally unleashes just how strong they really are. Smirnov is introduced like a living legend mythic tier, worth 1,000 soldiers. A true sword saint, while Amelia's portrayed as pure nightmare fuel, able to drop even heroes with a sure hit, sure kill shot from her bow. Then the ancient dragon leans in and drops the real bombshell. After all this wild firepower, Hero's not just fighting. He's sworn to friendship with an ancient dragon who also guards the divine dragon egg. A narrator cuts in to hammer the truth. This is Millard's real strength, the kind where he always puts everyone else ahead of himself. The whole crew huddles together, Smirnov, Hero, Amelia, and the ancient dragon included. Then someone steps up and tells Lord Hero that the allies he pulled in with nothing but kindness possess enough firepower to take on an entire country's military and still come out standing. The story snaps to the Roswell family study inside the manor, where everything is suddenly still like the calm before impact. A visitor corners Oliver Roswell and blurts out that they only showed up because the Merchant Guild ordered it, since Oliver has been acting strange ever since the day of the ritual hits end. The visitors are stunned to learn the eldest son has been exiled. Oliver stays glued to his desk and coldly shrugs off the visitor like he doesn't care if some great sage shows up, because nobody gets to stick their nose into family business. The maid then snaps, tells them to get out immediately if there's nothing else they came for. The visitor is suddenly unmasked, and it's no ordinary guest at all. It's the great sage Lillian, dressed in an ornate gown. Yet another hooded stranger grips a document and presses. "Aren't you all scared of what's happening?" Lillian snaps that Oliver's being icy cold, but Oliver snaps and orders them to deliver this message to those idiots. Now that he's kicked those useless trash aside, the money's about to start rolling in, and they'll pay back that debt in the blink of an eye. They can't help but quietly wonder who's truly the useless one. Lillian leans in and tells Oliver this could be the very last time she'll come back here, so he better listen. And listen good. Right where Oliver stands, the gateway to destruction looms. The hero screams for everyone to drop, then boom! An explosion tears open the air as the attack crashes down hard. The group throws themselves into cover as the assault crashes into their position. After the attack, the hero rushes to Amelia and asks if she's okay. She swears she's fine, somehow. Someone blurts out that the dire wolves are hunting dragon lords A, and A better run right now before the whole pack closes in and becomes unstoppable. Then a new voice yells at Amelia, "Look out!" Amelia and Hero crash into the dire wolves and the whole battlefield explodes, teeth bared, claws flying as they fight tooth and nail to keep the beasts from tearing through them. After the dust settles, Hero rushes up to Amelia and demands to know if she's okay, and she swears she's somehow, someway. Then, the hero blurts out an apology. He didn't spot the danger in time and admits, yeah, they probably should have asked Smirnov for an escort, even if it had to be forced. Amelia blurts out, "I couldn't stop it no matter what I did." Then it hits Smirnov's whole crew is wiped out with a brutal hangover, and he was the only one who could wrestle control of the underground guild's mess. Meanwhile, the ancient dragon slipped out to snag a demon boar for dinner because even monsters have cravings. Someone blurts out that after this, the monsters keep getting worse. And they honestly admit it too, staying just the two of them is way too risky. Hero yanked out his map, then told Amelia, "This says the Lord's estate is right around here. We should have seen the village by now." Then Amelia suddenly spots something and yells at Hero, "Look!" Trying to figure out if that glimpse through the trees was the mansion's roof. They pushed through the tangled, overgrown forest until the structure finally came into view, and Amelia let out a wave of relief, because this meant a real rest at last. While Hero nodded in agreement. But then Hero blurts out, "Can we actually get in?" And Amelia's eyes light up like, "Maybe, yeah, we might be able to." The mansion finally bursts into view, an enormous estate swallowed by wild greenery, crumbling with every passing second. The scene lays bare the full wreckage. No village, no people, and even the mansion is smashed to pieces. The hero already knew this land was brutal, but seeing it with his own eyes still hits like a punch. As they stride toward the shattered gate, Disbelief hits hard. Being handed a ruined territory and crowned as its lord sounds unreal. The hero blurts out, stammering, "No way. That can't be true, right?" They stare at the entrance, and the hero urges, "Let's go in now." Then his eyes catch the family crest shield on the wall, and reality hits hard. This really is the right place. And he can only admit he'd be way happier if it wasn't. Inside the mansion, everything's falling apart fast, so Hiro and Amelia step into the interior and just stare at the wreckage. Everything shattered to the bone, just ruins and dust yet. The hero prays they can find at least one room still standing. Then they spot a weird room where a giant tree somehow cracked through from the backyard and grew right inside. Even with that break-in, this room somehow looks better than the rest, like the tree shielded it from the wind and rain. Because somehow, it's still spotless. Amelia fires up the idea. This is their new base, and the dragon egg can be stashed here safe and sound. The hero spots something hidden inside the hollow of the tree and snaps. What is that? He recognizes it as magic ore, the rare kind people use to power fuel. Amelia can't even wrap her head around why something like this would be out here at all. The hero wonders if someone might have crashed here overnight and bolted, leaving it all behind, though he can't quite picture anyone really camping out in a place like this. He decides to gratefully make use of it. The hero snatches up the magic ore, and since it's been ages since he's used something like this, nerves start crawling up his spine. Meanwhile, Amelia clocks that hero can sling magic too. Inside the mansion, the two stride through the tiled hallways, and Hiro finally drops the truth, admitting he knows it might come off as rude to even say. He admits that noble training taught him a bit of magic, but all he can pull off are the basic spells meant just for everyday life. Then the hero unleashes his fire magic. Flames burst around him inside the wrecked room. Amelia's toned smile dies as she tells Hiro the nobles will even sacrifice their own children. And that means his father must have known exactly how broken this land was. Yet he still named Hiro Lord. She describes it like strapping a death sentence inside a neat little lie. The hero's face tightens, and he snaps at Amelia. She'll never say something like that again. He tells her, kindness always finds its way back, just like resentment and lies do, because they always circle around. He tells her that even if it was only the conversation itself, she's been drowning in guilt ever since she lied about that trial of skill thing. The two stood on the mansion steps, and Hiro leaned in, begging her to finally spill the truth, why she was really being hunted by the Minotaur. Amelia bursts in with her true goal, and everyone realizes what she's been aiming for all along. She's hunting the divine artifact, the Bow of Artemis, packed with clairvoyant revelations, so she can use it to save her sister. This divine insight lets the wielder lock onto a target's location from anywhere. No distance can hide them. Even if their eyesight is trash, they can still wield the bow, and right then, the hero snaps. Wait, what do you mean by saving your sister? Amelia leans in and tells you the truth. Her parents were taken by illness when they were barely alive. So it's just her sister and her left now. Then Amelia keeps spinning her tale. Just the other day, the village's top elite dropped a formal request right into their hands. The letter didn't ask nicely. It demanded that she and her sister be handed over as their son's playthings, then kept for life. Hiro snaps in pure shock, blurting that it's insane and insisting she has to refuse no matter what. Amelia snaps back that she'd do it in a heartbeat, if she only could. Then he breaks down everything about the Warcat tribe. Every year, they throw a brutal martial arts tournament where each family sends one fighter, and whoever wins decides the family's rank. In their clan, the weak are expected to bend to the strong. Ever since Amelia took the family head. And yeah, they've always been stuck at the very bottom. So, if she wants to save her sister, she has to step up. She'll prove how strong she really is in the next tournament, and it's only a month away. Amelia blurts out that she needs clairvoyance, and then hits you with the reason. That's exactly why she needs the Bow of Artemis. She struts in and swears that, with archery, nobody can touch her, then drops the bomb. Her eyesight has been fading fast. If this keeps up, she's headed for disaster, because when it really mattered, Amelia couldn't even take down the Minotaur in that temple, and she crashed hard. But when Amelia declares full force in her voice that she'll protect her sister no matter what, you can see it in her eyes. Even if it costs Amelia everything, she refuses to let the future her sister deserves get ripped away, or even have her smile stolen in the darkness. The hero leans in and asks if she wants to try something wild. Hero leans in and tells Amelia, maybe it's not a divine revelation from that artifact, still my magic can help you. He admits he can't promise things will work out, and he still won't spell out exactly what he's going to do. Amelia shrugs it off, tells him, it's totally fine, go ahead, and pushes him to continue. The hero tells her to shut her eyes for a second, and she agrees in a soft, quiet whisper. Meanwhile, Amelia can't stop staring, because why is Hero standing so damn close to her? Her heart starts sprinting as she realizes this is exactly like those fairy tales, where a prince's kiss shatters the curse and everything finally turns right. She wonders if the magic is really like that, and the panic hits. She's not ready for this. Then the hero calls out to Amelia and tells her, you can open your eyes now. When she finally does, she looks down and realizes she's got something bizarre strapped to her face, and she blurts, what is this? The hero explains, these aren't just gadgets, they're called glasses, and they sharpen your vision and help your eyes see straight. Amelia studies the razor-thin glass on her face and demands to know how we managed to carry them around. Then Hero steps up and admits the metal frame they hauled in wasn't meant for glass at all. He stuffed it with ice. The crazy part? 3 of things are built from magically crafted ice. Hero tells her he built the glasses from memories of his past life, so they might not be perfect right away. Yet with a little tweaking to match her eyesight, the lenses will finally make her see clearly. Suddenly, Amelia snaps at Hero to stop and listens up because she's about to call him out on his magic. The ice frames are cracking and melting right before his eyes. Hero finally blurts out an apology for the whole unstable mess. Amelia straps in her new vision and stares out far away. Things are still slightly out of focus, but she can finally see her hands clear as day in the whole room. She can actually see them with her own eyes, and the upgrade hits so hard it leaves her stunned. Amelia lunges into Hero's arms and blurts out a heartfelt, thank you, that means everything. She shouts her name, stunned as a sudden hug crashes into her. Meanwhile, through the glasses, Amelia finally spots something else, one last clue she never expected to see. Hero whispers her name and Amelia shoots back, telling him he's got the most handsome face. She blurts out in total shock, staring at him like, what are you suddenly talking about? As she closes in, he lunges to stop her, and Hero blurts her name again, until Amelia snaps back that he should just call her that. The 2 of them stood shoulder to shoulder, faces nearly touching as the moment turned dangerously intimate. Just when their moment hits, bam, this weird sound slices in the middle, and both of them snap around at once. Then, wham! A blinding flash erupts between them, and a white, fuzzy creature pops out of nowhere with a savage roar, while the cloth over the egg suddenly starts glowing. Amelia spots the light spilling out of it. Hero and Amelia both snap their heads toward whatever suddenly materializes between them, and another flash erupts. Out of thin air, a revelation book slams into existence, flashing dragon-linked blessings, and the pages promise to boost his vitality like never before. Hero blurts out, what's going on right now? As Amelia realizes the truth, this is a revelation book. And then, boom, a brand new revelation about dragons starts taking shape. Those 2 revelation books suddenly start melting together into one, like fate is stitching them as we watch. As the books tilt into something totally new, they slam their powers together, and boom, a fresh revelation is born. The Divine Dragon Merchant, with the whole transformation exploding in dramatic light. The hero finally gets it. This thing is on a whole other level, because even the ancient dragon bowed in respect, and that's when he names it, the Lord Divine Dragon. Suddenly, Amelia spots the egg cracking open, and Hero jolts in pure shock at the news. The egg splits with a loud crack, and a tiny horned creature bursts out like it had been waiting to be born. Hero and Amelia just freeze there, staring at the tiny kid in front of them like they can't believe what they're seeing. Someone blurts out, could this be the Lord Divine Dragon for real? And the caption snaps back with the confirmation. The Lord Divine Dragon has been reborn right here. Now this tiny baby dragon is getting a bath, splashing like crazy and squealing with pure, happy little sounds. Someone huddles the little one and snaps. Hold still, seriously. Don't move. If those bubbles get in the dragon's eyes, it's gonna sting like crazy. Then the baby dragon blurts out, is Papa not getting in the bath? Another voice laughs and says the bubbles tickle, and someone pleads with the dragon, please hang in there. The narration keeps going. Papa's swamped right now, stitching clothes and running the laundry like crazy. Suddenly, the baby dragon yells for Papa, and right away someone screams, "No peeking!" Meanwhile, someone slings up the talk about changing clothes at last. The baby dragon keeps pestering again. "So Papa, you're coming into the bath with us, right?" Heroes huddle outside the bath area as Amelia carefully helps the little one get washed. Suddenly, Hero scrambles back in panic, mortified beyond belief, begging them to please pretend this never happened. The scene snaps over and the heroes crumple to the floor like the fight got sucked out of them. Amelia stares in horror as she realizes Papa's gone, then immediately breaks down and keeps apologizing to Hero over and over. Later, the hero looks back and realizes peace only lasted until the Divine Duke Dragon's egg finally hatched. The baby's dried tears in the comments said, "I never saw this coming." Everyone freezes, staring at that tiny wet dragon sitting in front of them. Then one person finally blurts out, "Wait, it's him, the Divine Duke Dragon." Amelia demands to know if the Divine Duke Dragon is some ancient dragon from the dragon race. But Hero shuts it down fast, because the legends swear it belongs to the Dragono ID race instead. Hero and Amelia hover over the baby dragon, stunned by what's happening. Then, someone dares them to ask it straight out, and another person blurts out, "But can it even talk after being born?" Then the baby dragon locks eyes with them, staring hard as it tries to finally get a word out. He managed to spit out a few shaky syllables that sounded like he was trying to call his parents. Suddenly, the baby dragon screams, "Mama!" straight at Amelia, and she freezes in pure shock. While everyone gapes that Amelia is apparently the dragon's mama, Hero can't help it. He's completely baffled. Like, how did this even happen? Amelia leans in and reveals that even the dragon race imprints too. The hero finally realizes he and his team were the very first faces the dragon laid eyes on the moment it was born. The baby dragon joyfully chirps at both of them, yelling "Mama" at Amelia and "Papa" at the hero like it's the best news ever. That tiny dragon keeps bouncing between them, buzzing with pure excitement. And Hero finally turns and asks, "All right, what do we do now?" Then he decides, "We've got to figure it out. But right now, nothing matters more." Hero orders Amelia, and even the baby dragon, to get ready for a bath. And right on cue, the little baby dragon hops up and declares, "Time for my bath." Outside in the yard, Hero's scrubbing clothes in a wooden tub, doing laundry like it's just another mission. He's hunched over his work when his back snaps, and the hero groans, cursing how it all turned out this way, then sinks into a tired sigh as pain from the manual labor pounds through his body. Hero stares at his life and can't believe it somehow. He's raising a daughter now, and then it hits him. That instruction manual, warning about the right environment and slow maturation, wasn't kidding. As they stare at those crumbling buildings, Hero can't stop his mind from spiraling. If he tries to raise her here, there's nothing but broken shelter, zero supplies, and no way to secure a future for them. Then this baby dragon waddles up and blurts out, "Does Papa's tummy hurt?" The hero finally breaks, admitting he's weak, drowning in problems, and just wants to bolt and disappear. But Hero tells them, "It's fine. I was just thinking for a moment." Right out of nowhere, a baby dragon pops up rocking a fancy outfit packed with frills and ribbons. Then Amelia turns to Hero and asks if he wants her to kiss the pain away. And then the hero blurts out that, in such a short time, Amelia somehow whipped up the cutest outfits ever, and Amelia admits she's stunned too. The hero can't stop grinning, ripping apart the bed sheets, and his canopy totally paid off because that baby dragon loved it. The baby dragon tilts her head and asks, "So, am I cute?" Amelia double-checks the outfit, her cheeks burning as she admits she's never dressed anyone before. He reassures her that it's perfect and tells her the tied-up hair looks insanely cute too. Amelia leans in and tells the baby dragon it's adorable then. While that tiny beast calms down, Hero cradles it close and grills it about who she really is. The baby dragon tilts its head and asks if it's really her, and Amelia smiles and tells it yes, she's the Shinruk, the divine Duke Dragon who rules and leads the entire dragon race. The little dragon lets it sink in, drags out the syllables like a holy ritual, And then Divine Ryukoshishi declares, "I see." Then the baby dragon blurts out that Shinruko is adorable, and Amelia can't help thinking that it somehow makes the dragon sound even cuter. Hiro leans in and asks if she wants a nickname, and Amelia drops the truth. Divine Duke Dragon isn't a name at all. It's the title of the dragon's leader, Dragons. The hero nods like, yeah, that's the truth, but the tiny baby dragon throws a loud tantrum, screaming, "No!" at Shinruko, because that name is way too hard to say. The hero leans in, staring hard at the baby dragon's red eyes, adorable horns, and that unmistakable tail marking that screams, she's the leader of the dragon race. And when he spots her glowing like a golden divine dragon, his mind races to the perfect nickname. So Hirov names the baby dragon *Galchan, explaining it. She points out that golden comes straight from the word gold, and then he leans in and asks what she thinks about it. The baby dragon drags the words out, testing each sound like its tasting power. Gul-chan. The moment her new name lands, her face bursts into pure joy. The tiny baby dragon bounces up, giggling that he's said Gao-chan, and Amelia beams as she cuddles him while, inside her head, the words Mom and Papa hit her like a weird, sudden spotlight, making her feel oddly self-conscious. Meanwhile, the hero watches them like, whoa, this feels like I just gained a whole new family. But then the hero suddenly pauses, staring into his memories like they're flashing right in front of him. He was raised to become a legendary lord, the face of his whole country, and as a kid he soaked up lessons from a brilliant great sage. His father lived for talking money and investments, and Hiro figured it wasn't just the topics he loved, it was the fact they were sharing them together. But Hiro was the only one who saw it that way. Because even before he ever opened his eyes, his own twin brother Marison already resented him. The hero finally admits to himself that he's never truly had a family nothing like one. Meanwhile, Gol cuts in and says, with Papa and Mama around, it's pure fun. She snatches both of their hands and tells them, loud and clear, that Gol can do it too. Amelia and her baby dragon stand shoulder to shoulder as Hiro watches from behind. Then Gold erupts, yelling that she loves them. Amelia and Hiro squeeze Gol-chan in a warm group hug. Then someone blurts out that Gol-chan is insanely smart. Taev, the voice pipes up, thanking Gol for teaching them. Outside, Gol sprawls on the ground, fully absorbed in his playtime, while Amelia and Hiro hover nearby. Hiro pitches the idea of a reward, and the second the words hit, someone blurts out in shock. Later on, they haul out a wooden tub for Gol, and Hiro tries to offer something he can use only for Gol to snap, insisting it's for laundry, and she refuses to do that. The hero tells her to blow on it then, to watch it like her life depends on it. Suddenly, Amelia stood outside as soap bubbles swirled through the air, drifting around her while the peaceful outdoors wrapped the whole scene in calm. Gol just stands there with her arms up, stunned to the core by everything she sees, then blurts out what it is, secretly hoping it's Papa's magic. The hero leans in and tells us, these aren't just bubbles, this is soap bubble magic. Amelia, the Gol shouts, telling her to look at them. Aren't they gorgeous? Then it raves that soap bubbles are straight up magic. Then Gol spots something's not right and yells at Hiro, hey, what's wrong? The hero just locks eyes with Amelia and lets out her name in a low, quiet whisper. The hero leans in and tells Amelia, straight up, that she's absolutely stunning. Amelia goes still with shock, then blurts out words that trip right over her tongue. Hiro blurts that he's not hiding anything. He's just curious because her hair and outfit look totally different today. Meanwhile, someone jumps in and asks Golchan what's wrong, while that tiny dragon quietly watches the tension hang in the air between them. Amelia stands there, cheeks burning, torn up by the question of whether they should actually kiss. She snaps into defense on the spot and fires back, asking Hiro if he's serious about this. Then Hiro panics, stammers, and blurts out, why are you reacting like that? Suddenly, gold chimes ring out from where she's sitting, and she blurts that when Papa and Mama lock eyes like that, they kiss because she watched it happen from inside the egg. Heroes are sweating bullets, babbling nervously as they try to sell it as nothing but a botched plan or somehow claim it was totally something else. He yells for Amelia to help, while he arches backward in dramatic disbelief, swearing up and down that none of it happened the way you think. Meanwhile, Gol finds the whole mess wildly hilarious and erupts in laughter at Papa getting rejected. Someone tries to get Hiro to snap out of it while Amelia blurts out a quick excuse about needing to prep food, scrambling to escape the awkward moment before it swallows her. Right before they go, Amelia leans in and gently pats Gold's head. Then Hiro takes a breath and spirals through everything that's happened. Because no matter what, he's got to give Gold his best. And he keeps his palm on that little dragon's head as he steels himself for his goal. Fueled by pure determination, he set out to turn this land into a real home, where people could finally live and smile. Gol lights up and says she's gonna laugh like crazy because hanging out with Papa is just pure fun. In this harsh, industrial space, Hiro just stands there, staring into his past back, when he still had a little sister, and he forces himself to endure it all again. Because when you're protecting someone, you don't just survive, you grow stronger, and you finally find a reason to live. He admits it hit him hard back. Then he thought he was weaker than everyone else. But ever since Gol showed up, he's been getting stronger, just a little at a time. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream rips through the air. The hero snaps into shock, bolts into panic, and screams that his mom is in real danger. Earlier that day, the hero drops to his knees in the grass and shouts for Gol. And the little dragon answers with an excited, affirmative chirp. Amelia grips the Gol as the dragon spells out the whole mess because when Gol starts playing with Mama, the dragon can't play with Papa at the very same time. And yeah, Hiro hears it and immediately goes, "Yep, that's a real problem." But that's not what Hiro meant at all. He grabs Amelia and Gold by the focus and tells them to go check something out. Then he hands them an object. Hiro pops open their storage case and the shock hits. Nearly all their food is gone, and the container is left almost empty. Gol grins and innocently asks Amelia, "Did Mama eat all the food?" Amelia shoots out an apology, admitting it was all her carelessness. But Hiro snaps that it's not what happened. Still, the supplies are absolutely running on empty. Then Hiro finally breaks down the truth about their food supplies. He tossed the leftover slime in with the rest, and it didn't die at all. It was still alive, and it tore through everything, eating every last bite inside. So that's why Amelia screamed and dropped like a stone yesterday when she opened the bag. A giant slime was staring back. Hiro keeps talking, saying the only stuff they've got left is the slime, a pinch of seasoning, and that dried meat he's been hauling, and the pork that came with everything else is just completely gone. Someone jolts in shock and blurts, "Wait, what did you just say?" Suddenly, a shadowy figure with massive antlers materializes right in front of the hero. The ancient dragon drops the bomb that she heard the divine dragon lord just hatched, so she shows up to pay her respects and score a great meal while the hero stands there utterly lost, staring like, "Wait, what?" And the whole time, the ancient dragon grumbles that she's been fasting ever since that last feast. And now I'm left wondering, are they seriously treating her like this? The hero demands who she is. But when the ancient dragon in her human form snaps back, she looks totally offended and demands he remembers the face of his sworn enemy, then basically calls him out for forgetting. Like, "Are you really going senile already and you're still so young?" The hero starts muttering about a sworn ally, then demands they wait so he can tell them he's not ready to say it yet. Then his eyes flare wide as the truth finally clicks. This isn't a stranger at all. The ancient dragon snaps that there's no one else it could be, because she looks exactly like her own twin self. Hiro finally locks eyes with her and boom, she's the ancient dragon. He lets out a breath, stunned, admitting that somehow piecing it together from just that one clue is honestly a miracle. Meanwhile, Go barges in like, "Is breakfast ready yet?" The ancient dragon leans in, demanding to know what they've got. The mine cringes and admits all they've got is dried meat. The dragon's face twists and pure disappointment hits like a punch. The ancient dragon snorts and says that little pile of dried meat won't even make a dent, reminding everyone that even dragon kids chew through way more food than a full-grown human. She said she could go hunt a giant demon boar if it came to that, but that's exactly why they've got to move fast. Then the ancient dragon roars at the hero, demanding to know if she'll ask him for a favor. The ancient dragon leans in and asks Hiro if he'll let her become the Lord Divine Dragon's mentor. The Gol tells them straight, every race has its own secret customs and techniques, ones only their kind can teach. The ancient dragon rumbles on, saying there's a whole mountain of things they can't possibly teach. The hero snaps, telling Gold to listen up and trust her own judgment, and the ancient dragon backs it up, so Gold just picks the road she truly believes is right. Hero tells Gaul he feels the ancient dragon is right, and Gaul nods like, yeah, learning from another dragon could be amazing. Meanwhile, the ancient dragon trapped in a human body leans in and demands of Gaul, so what do you want to do? In the heart of the forest, the dragon stands tall and unstoppable. Her antlers gleam, and her formal robes fall like a throne, and for a second, she looks exactly like the ancient legend she's bragging about. Gold decides to play with Gramps, and the ancient dragon practically roars yes with joy. The ancient dragon declares she'll forge Lord Divine Dragon into a proud, mighty member of the Dragunkan, and the hero mutters under his breath that this claim doesn't feel true at all. The choice is sealed. Now the two stand side by side as sparkles burst around them, and the mentorship ignites for real. Then the ancient dragon rams home the rules. Goal is goal. Goal and goal. And Goal hates Chinsuko whatever that is, and Goal just grins. I've got it. The dragon blurts out with unstoppable excitement. All aboard, let's hit the road. The hero orders them to steer clear of anything dangerous. And just like that, it's settled. The moment the scene flips, hero braces, then charges toward the next task without hesitation. The hero snaps that they've got to find a way to beat this brutal food shortage. The ancient dragon raises a discovery, and the hero blurts out, "Since the dragon was made my mentor," thinking it could be the perfect way for him to finally be useful too. Amelia suddenly steps forward, raises her bow, and demands they let her go hunting because with the food situation this bad, everyone has to pull their weight. Amelia breaks it down. The warrior catfolk hunt, eat what they bring home, and if anything's left, they stash it away as winter-proof supplies, so they never go hungry when the cold hits. They'd even turn animal parts into clothes and tools, then trade horns and pelts to score seasonings and spices. The hero leans in and fires off a question about hunting tools. Like he's hunting answers too. But Amelia shoots back that even if it's only trap hunting and all, they're running out of time, so she should just bring him the proof and skip the talking. Amelia grins and tells Hero she'll start with the easiest trap, first no tricks, just some vines and sticks, because this is the hunting method kids learn right from the start. She tells you the catfolk warriors never bought supplies ahead of time. They hunted and gathered right on the spot because one whiff could alert the animals to the trap. There's a game trail close by, so they're laying the trap right there. They weave the rope from vines that creep through the estate, then lash it all together with sturdy tree branches. Done, the trap is ready. Meanwhile, Amelia spots a game trail ahead, cutting out of the vile wood and blasts a warning that something seriously dangerous could be lurking right in this area. The hero tells everyone, "I checked the whole area before we even gathered. No danger, nothing felt off, so we're good." Amelia let out a huge breath of relief, then grinned and said, "If that forest is close, we might even hunt down wild veggies to eat." Still, she snaps that they can't drop their guard for even a second. After a moment, Amelia snaps the trap into place, then grins and says she's planning to drop that same trap in about 3 more spots along the animal trails. Hero clocks that she's somehow having a blast, and Amelia can't help but think, maybe this is it. Maybe she can finally be useful to Hero. Then she urges him, "Hey, get those glasses ready, please." The hero leans in and fires the question, asking what she plans to do next. Amelia tells everyone she's going straight for it. She jabs a finger toward that distant white bird perched on a branch, and you can practically hear her wish she had a bow in her hands right this second. The hero stares at the distance, wondering how she's even going to pull off that hit. Amelia grabs the braided sling and declares, "I'm using this today," as she holds it up like a promise. Turns out the cat-eared tribe has mastered slings. And this isn't just any weapon. It's one of their signature killers, strong enough to drop even the biggest prey. For her, like a bird, even a tiny stone counts, so she adds, "just in case," and holds back on the throw. Amelia winds the sling tight, lets it rip, and the stone rockets through the sky and drops the bird with terrifying precision, crushing it in one devastating strike. Amelia flicks a stone from her sling, wham. It rips through a white bird mid-flight, shattering it instantly as feathers explode across the air. Amelia looks wrecked and terrified while Hero just freezes in shock. She can't believe a tiny stone can unleash that kind of power. And Hiro nods, admitting it's a relief she didn't blast it at full force. The bird lies there, smashed and knocked out but still breathing, and the hero's chest finally loosens because their precious food didn't get blown to pieces. He clenches his fist and realizes he has to figure out how to control his own strength for real, after getting his divine revelation boost. Meanwhile, back at the house, Gol yells from the rooftop for her mama and papa. Hiro and Amelia stare up at her, shocked. What on earth is she doing up there? She bursts out, "You've got to watch this," because she just stumbled on something insanely cool. Gol took a deep, steady breath. Then, he unleashes a brutal, roaring strike. Energy detonates outward in a wave of pure devastation, and Amelia stares up from below, frozen in total shock. Then the attack crashes into the ground with a catastrophic boom, and massive explosions rip through the area, radiating deadly beams of energy while dust and debris explode into the sky in giant clouds. When the smoke finally clears, it lays bare the damaged. Huge craters smash right through the forest canopy, ripping massive holes across the treetops. That ancient dragon, now wearing flowing traditional robes and standing on 2 feet, turns to Lord Hiro, asks how he did it, then declares, "This is what Gol's training looks like." Meanwhile, on the ground, Go is sprawled out, drained to the bone after that insane burst of energy. The ancient dragon watches her closely and realizes she can already unleash the dragon tribe's ultimate move, an annihilating roar, exactly the kind of power they'd bet on for the future leader of the dragon tribe. Suddenly, Gol rockets up to Hiro, shouting that it was incredible, and Hiro fires back, "If it's that amazing, then praise me the right way." The Gol pats him on the back like it's cheering time, and Hiro instantly floods with cold sweat. He panicked, convinced his whole territory was about to disappear, and then someone drops, "That's seriously impressive," asking whether the ancient dragon taught her. From the dark, an ancient dragon lunges into view, then snaps into a proud pose and dares them to shower her with all the praise they want. The ancient dragon slumps in torn robes, wiped out to the bone. Then Gol swings a look his way and breezes in, "No dinner for you tonight." The ancient dragon snaps back, raging at the unfairness. "Why does it have to be this way?" Then fires off a defense, insisting they saw it themselves. He's the one who handed down the dragon tribe's ultimate technique, the move that can wipe out everything. But then someone blurts out, "Hey, remember, you said you're dealing with food supply problems." Then Hiro rips into them, laying out just how bad this really is. Because in his domain, even vegetables are a luxury. So he demands they understand what that one hit wiped out. Days' worth of food gone in an instant. And as the lord of this land, he refuses to let it slide. Gol snaps that this punishment is way too brutal and wonders where their usual soft-hearted lord vanished to. But the hero doesn't budge. He insists that wrong stays wrong, or else his whole domain will crumble. The ancient dragon is forced into the mentor role, so the Gol blurts out a request and asks him to say something, only for the ancient dragon to stare off awkwardly, like he's got nothing to say. Later, Gol points at the fallen ancient dragon and grins that she'll chow down every last bit of Grandpa's food so he doesn't have to worry, while the ancient dragon just sprawls there, fully beaten. Nearby, an observer leans in and spots a lord, and their words cut off mid-sentence. Like something just went terribly wrong. Taking a post in a remote spot like this could turn into a gold mine. Meanwhile, a mysterious fox-eared woman in ornate armor strides across the frontier, cutting through the trees as she heads straight for the distant buildings. The hero settles by a tree and tells Amelia she looks like she's doing great. Up in the tree, Amelia grins at her brand new glasses, marveling that they cut through the distance so sharply she can see everything crystal clear. So next week's martial arts tournament should finally go off without a hitch. Then Gol blurts out that her papa is the one she wants. The hero points out that all that archery practice and the food they've already stocked is doing the heavy lifting. So now the only thing left is getting the ancient dragon to deliver the staple meals they asked for, and then they're finally ready to go. Out of nowhere, a hidden voice shouts, "Are you okay, Hiro?" And Hiro gasps, "That was brutal. Thanks to divine intervention, I'm barely still standing." The Gol shows up and leans in, asking straight out how it all went. Meanwhile, the armored warrior storms back, shouting that she's back for real. Bam! And the impact echoes as training keeps roaring on. Goal erupted in celebration, shouting that she scored a huge pile of food and that she caught something incredible too. Amelia can't stop wondering what it could be, because these remarks better be something absolutely unreal. Then the doors blow open. Boom, an enormous pile of monsters spills into view. A white dragon, a devil boar, a sea serpent, a minotaur, and even a Medusa, all piled together like trophies, and Goal sits right on top, smugly asking if it's pretty amazing. Emily calls it a massive win, and shoots a question at the hero. What does he think? Hero steps up to the ancient dragon and reminds it, "You asked for staple foods, so here's the deal." The pile even features a devil boar and a terrifying sea serpent. A minotaur, then, right after, a Medusa. Hero points out that the minotaur and Medusa aren't even edible, and the ancient dragon brushes him off with a cold, dismissive snort. So Hero snaps back, "Then why the hell are there monsters in the world you can't eat?" The ancient dragon bluntly declares that Medusa is a disaster-class monster built to put your strength on full display. Then he blurts out the truth. He just wanted to flex. And even when he admits it, he keeps looking away. But Hero totally gets it. The ancient dragon is terrifyingly strong, yet he pushed for staple food for one specific reason. The hero tells them the only way to keep food from spoiling here is to smoke it. But with this much, they'll never finish before it goes bad. But the ancient dragon snarls, demanding why everything's rotting. They tell him this is just how the world works. Everything dies, breaks down, feeds the soil, shoots back as plants, animals rip it up to eat, and somehow life keeps rolling on. That ancient dragon zeroes in on the little Goal, grins like it's dessert, and declares she can gorge on it right now while Goal waves hard, shouting for her papa. Yeah, our hero finally admits the ancient dragon has a point. Meanwhile, Hero begs with his whole heart not to get eaten, while Goal stands tall in her maid outfit above him, an ancient dragon's tail lurking just within reach. Right then, Amelia spots the captive and jolts at Gull, demanding, "Who is that?" Someone blurts that they got snared by a pitfall trap, so Gull caught them before they could disappear. The captured person pleads for them to listen, and gold flashes in bright, cheerfully dangerous splendor. They notice it smells amazing, and straight up assume it'll taste just as good. The prisoner merchant swings his head up and tells them, "I'm Jack." He's laying it out. He runs his trade in Rothball territory as a traveling merchant for the Arcturate Trading Company. But the crew can't shake the feeling that this traveling merchant is way too suspicious for how far he's come. If it's that far out and there's no wagon or bags, Goal's eyes narrow. This feels way more suspicious than rare. Then Jack swings open a magical bag and shows them everything he's got stored inside. His father ditched him a keepsake, and that little artifact can stash a whole warehouse worth of stuff inside. Jack lays it out. Sure, the bag is a fortune, but it also comes with every last debt his father piled up, and that's why he trekked all the way out here. Jack breaks it down. Ever since they chose the new successor for the Rothwell territory, everything's gone downhill fast. Prices have blasted through the roof, shelves are almost empty, and even when he finally manages to stock up, he still can't sell because it's just too damn expensive. At this rate, he can't even scrape together a living. So he's been pushing into other territories, buying goods on the road and using his mansion like a pit stop. Jack says he spotted them all last week when he slipped by. So today he's back again, this time with the nerve to introduce himself properly. Meanwhile, the whole Goal process is a situation one that's about to blow wide open. Seeing the hit from those crushing taxes, he watched the damage show up way sooner than anyone ever expected. Even with that magical artifact in his hands meant to let Jack trade circles around every merchant, his business still can't pull in a profit. Goal knows that if Oliver and Marison keep this up, the Rothwell territory will be shattered beyond repair, so he has to act right now, before it's too late. Then Goal leans in and asks Hero what's wrong, wondering if her catch didn't land, but the hero admits it's a little disappointing. Amelia tells them Jack is a shopkeeper who sells all kinds of goodies, and Goal instantly clicks. If they chow down on him, they'll never get that tasty supply again. Suddenly, Gull blurted out that she's craving tasty food, and the hero fired back, "So what are we doing?" And the ancient dragon urges Jack to apologize right now. Gulbo, still in her fully made-up form and drooling a little, blurts an apology to the captive, sorry for calling them tasty, but then the tiniest note slips out, and it's clear she's still got a serious crush on how delicious they look. The ancient dragon praises Gull. Amelia jumps in to hype him up too. And then Hero pats Wham. Gull's head gets ruffled as she giggles like she just won everything. Jack finally speaks up, grinning as he says he's relieved they cleared up that misunderstanding. Then he thrusts out his hand, cuts straight to an apology, and begs forgiveness for all the trouble. Right in front of the mansion, Hero storms up and introduces himself to Jack. I'm Hero Rothwell, and get this. He's been adopted into the Rothwell family, shipped into this place on the territory lord's orders. Then Hero tells Jack he's got full permission to keep using the mansion, and Jack goes wide-eyed. Are you for real? So Hero smiles, says his name, and admits it would be a huge help, but still asks if Jack can really believe he's not going back on it. Amelia snaps her sword toward Jack's back and presses him hard, wondering if he's lying through his teeth. She corners Hero and asks if he's seriously just going to roll over and accept everyone like this. He snaps that he's being way too kind letting Jack use the mansion for free. Amelia's frustration keeps boiling as she yells at Hero that if he doesn't stop, he's going to get seriously hurt someday. And even then, she just knows he'd smile and say he's glad it happened to him. She can't stand the idea of that happening to him. Hero rushes to Amelia, throws out a real apology, and tells her he can't afford to step back. This is something he has to face as the Lord. He admits she's right, and he can feel it. Some people out there will try to use him, or straight up trick him, and if he dares to ditch people who need him just to save himself, then he'll never be able to rescue a single soul who comes to this Lord for help. The three figures stride across the grounds together and, as Hero grins, thoughts racing about his choice, he makes it crystal clear. If anyone calls for help, he'll throw his hand out there and pull them to safety. Amelia admits she's got zero comeback when he hits her with it, that plainly, and then, right after, he apologizes for making her worry. Then Amelia clocks it this kid's got a ridiculously huge heart. And that's exactly why dragons and warrior catfolk are showing up to fight for Hero. While Jack lurks behind them, the ancient dragon snaps back to Amelia's call-out and tells Hero he's giving him way too much credit. Hero admits he probably threw out something bold a second ago, but then he shrugs right now. They've got their hands full just trying to survive what's unfolding around them. They call him a lord, but his land's empty, no citizens, a shattered mansion, and supplies strewn everywhere, with a pile of hero notes and corpses of monsters still stacked up like trophies. The camera swings back to reveal the wreckage, and you can feel it. This is only the beginning of their nightmare. The ancient dragon scoots closer, locks eyes with the hero, and drops a bombshell. All right then, I've got a proposal for you. In her humanoid body, the ancient dragon perched on a pile of dead monsters and told Hero, I want to buy the whole lot, everything you've got. Jack leans in and tells them his whole trade runs on food. If it's demon boar meat, he can sell even that without breaking a sweat. Hero surveys the scattered corpses and leftover monster bits, thinking this could be a huge help, then demands answers what about the monsters that won't be good for food. Jack breaks it down. A minotaur's horns and hooves are top-tier crafting gold, and a Medusa's eye is pure, super high-grade magical power. So, yeah, dragon fangs and scales, they're the rarest of the rare, and they're being auctioned off for big bucks. Jack leans in and reassures Hero that none of this is going to be a problem. And when it's time to tear the beasts apart and deal with what's left, Hero tells Jack, just knock it off the total payment. No need to stress. But then Jack drops the real twist. There's one problem waiting for them. Jack's face twists with worry as he finally admits, I don't have enough money on hand right now. The hero finally clocks it. Jack wasn't just acting shady, he was trying to scam them after all. But Jack snaps back. Fast he's saying he doesn't have that kind of cash just sitting on hand to buy all this material outright. Jack admits private deals would rake in more profit for him. But then he shifts gears, he's done talking and wants a real, formal contract instead. A priceless coin. Maybe even a valuable treasure is dangled between them, shining like bait. Jack shoves over a document and tells them it's a magical promissory note payments, delayed, but the deal locked in tight, exactly what AR Demic uses for their territorial contracts. Jack tells them he'll swing by every week to take orders, then snatch up the goods, and promises the full total will be paid off by the end of next month. For that guarantee, The company grabs 5% of every sale, then Jack steps up and says, "I'll pay that 5% myself." Suddenly, somebody snaps up shouting, "No way, that won't work!" Hiro calls out that a contract should be fair. But the twist is brutal. No matter what, the one who's drowning in debt always gets the short end of the bargain. And honestly, just landing a trade route out on this brutal frontier already feels like a massive win for him. The hero asks if they should sign the contract, and Jack fires back an apology for his ugly behavior, admitting he only acted out because he was desperate to lock this deal in. Then Jack breaks it down. The Artmac company isn't just dealing with merchants, noble families come knocking too, and when contracts get signed, either the wife or the husband's heir must step in as the guarantor. The hero realizes something terrifying. Way too many nobles blow their money on nonsense, and it's killing the kingdom. Jack snaps in and says it's nothing more than a formality, then asks, "So can someone play Hiro's wife just for the paperwork?" The hero cranes his neck toward where Amelia stands in the distance and demands to know if she'd be okay doing it. Amelia is totally blindsided when Hiro asks if she'll be his wife just to sign the contract, clutching gall the whole time as she stammers out her answer. From across the clearing, the hero reassures her. It's just on paper, nothing to fear. But then Amelia touches her own face, still rattled, and blurts out that even if it's only paper, she still needs him to say it right. Her gaze locks in full of tension, and Hiro's eyes burn with seriousness as he leans in and says her name. Then, in the middle of that forest clearing, the hero drops to his knees in front of Amelia and begs her please to be his wife. He flashes a soft smile and asks, "Right to your face, if that's okay." Amelia's eyes harden, and she tells him, "I guess I don't really have a choice. If you're good with it, then I'm in." Right before the dust can even settle, someone bursts in and screams, "Objection!" The white-haired war cat shows up like a strike of lightning, her voice slicing through everything as she demands answers. Was Amelia's disgrace back in the village not bad enough? Now she's here to make sure their family name doesn't get ruined out in the open too. The standoff snaps into tension in the blink of an eye as the hero locks eyes with the white-haired war cat, and she doesn't let up. She rips into him, declaring that someone with proud warrior catfolk blood tying the knot with an invader is downright disgusting. The white-haired war cat hurls an ultimatum with her bow fully drawn, demanding Amelia march back to the village. No excuses, not if she wants to keep her life. She'll pay for this shame with her life. The hero calls out to the white-haired war cat, Natasha by name, and demands to know why she's here. Natasha shoots back coldly, like, "I told you, don't dodge a question with another question." And she presses the point again. Amelia has to come back to the village with her, or Natasha will end her life right here. Hero fires a question. Does Natasha really know Amelia? Natasha nods and admits Amelia taught her tons of stuff when she was just a kid. Natasha leans in and says Amelia is one of the village's top recon specialists. Then Amelia instantly figures Natasha came to hunt her down after she vanished. But Natasha snaps that Amelia leaving wasn't the real problem at all. The real issue is way darker. Humans are living on this land. The hero starts doubting if humans are truly the real problem, then someone drops a bombshell. This territory has belonged to the Roswell family for generations. Natasha straight up says it. Humans never bothered to learn the truth of this land, because right beside the Warcat tribe's village, it once served as a brutal hub where humans led the demi-human hunts. They rolled in to scout the moment they heard a lord would be stationed here. But Natasha never expected that one of their own would be standing on the human side. Amelia swears she hasn't done a single wrong thing. Amelia steps in to defend Hiro, insisting he isn't some cold human from the past, because after she nearly died from losing that battle, he blew his entire fortune just to save her. Smirnov tries to cool the whole scene off, pushing them to sit down for tea and talk, insisting that humans aren't as cruel anymore. Natasha clocks him as the traveling merchant who rocked up to their village before, but she's side-eyeing him hard, especially the tea. Natasha can't believe a human would hand a demi-human expensive medicine because history has proven humans won't even spare scraps for starving demi-humans. Natasha abruptly calls forth two enormous magic wolves and rips into Hiro, shouting that he's a filthy slave trader. Then she demands answers about what he slipped into Amelia's medicine and vows the wolves will tear into him if he won't talk. The hero finally clocks why those magic wolves keep popping up all over. Then he sees the sheer number of them and realizes they're not messing around. They're here to wipe them out. Someone leans in and asks Hiro what he wants to do next, even daring him to just say the word and turn those wolves to ash in an instant. But the hero snaps back instantly. Absolutely not. Because if things blow up right here, Amelia's position is going to get wrecked. The whole situation keeps spiraling, and Hiro keeps scrambling for an answer. But right now it's only crashing harder and harder. Hiro weighs his choices, but when he begs for mercy, it's pointless because they won't spare him. They'll demand his life instead. If he dares Natasha to a duel, his strength won't survive a single exchange. Just like Marzen warned, Dragonheart's wisdom and experience are completely useless in this situation. Hiro tells himself, "Don't you dare. Quit, this is it. If it's the end, then I'll say it like a promise. Try not to die in your own domain." Meanwhile, Amelia can't shake the feeling that something big is out there waiting to be found. A single game-changing move that turns the whole situation around. Then Hiro spirals over every point Amelia hit him with and finally decides he'll use them all to protect her, no matter what. Amelia steals her nerves and admits she has no clue what's coming next. But she can't ignore the risk. Natasha snaps her magic wolves into battle formation, then shouts the Book of Revelation like it's the final signal. The hero ignites his divine revelation. Then the Sacred Scrolls lottery snaps into reality as the magic wolves explode forward, snapping in to attack. A colossal divine presence blooms behind Hiro, blasting the air with blinding light and raw power. Then the truth slams into place. It's the Book of Sin, the god of abundance, stamped with a special rank, and Hiro just stands there, staring up at that towering god. Then, the hero gapes at the open book like it's impossible, straight up stunned. The revelation hands him tanuki beans and soybean crops and then slams a blessing on his land, tripling how fast everything grows, while even the cultivation screen confirms it. Crops on tilled ground grow 3 times faster. The hero's eyes go wide in pure shock as it clicks right when he made that gamble. The loss was already locked in, and he can't stop wondering what kind of revelation this is even meant to be. Then someone screams, "Stop it!" Natasha snickers that the hero's begging for mercy is getting weirder by the day, then asks if he's really just trying to buy her off with it. Then a tiny, childlike figure bursts into the scene, sobbing, begging, "Don't hurt Papa, don't hurt Mama." Amelia leans in and asks, "Do you mean you?" The tiny figure nods yes, standing guard in that maid outfit, ready to shield the hero and Amelia no matter what. Meanwhile, Natasha sneers at Amelia and calls her pathetic to her face. She tells him she always knew Amelia was drowning under the weight of the Marshall tournament, and she also realized this if they were going to fix it, Amelia would need Artemis's bow. Natasha figured that's why Amelia vanished from the village without a whisper only, to realize Amelia ditched her sister and ran off to play pretend with humans. Natasha leans in and demands to know what Amelia truly needs then. An arrow flashes, dripping with deadly intent, and Asha tells Amelia, "Just wait. I'll make you see it for yourself." A frantic voice screams at the hero, "Dodgin'!" But Amelia just freezes dead in place, staring at the incoming attack like her body forgot how to move. Natasha announces that if Amelia steps in to protect the hero, the Warcat tribe's pride will be kept standing. Amelia sees it coming, and there's no way to dodge it. If she grabs that arrow, the mission is overdone for good. But if she dodges, that goal turns into the sacrifice. Nana launches her bow at us with bone-crushing speed, and the arrows were already screaming through the air. Then Gold charges forward with pure determination, speed lines blazing across the panel as she blurts out an apology already locked in on everything that's coming next. Then, out of nowhere, a voice snaps the question. "Are you really the first leader to throw in the towel?" Smirnov comes flying back right in front of Goal, an arrow sticking out of his body. He hits you with, "Did you really come back and spot me as Smirnov?" Then he presses for answers about them. Smirnov snaps that if she vanishes right here, everything they've built could collapse. And the worst part is, she treats her own life like it's disposable. Meanwhile, Smirnov stands in the forest with a bunch of people, and he tells Golly's folks, "Yeah, they're all farmers and craftsmen, and I brought them here because you've got no idea how badly they believe they can serve you." Right after he left those rogue guild members in Roswell's domain behind, they tracked him down, because now they've got nowhere left to run. Goal can't shake the thought that her power alone just isn't enough to save them. But then Smirnov, planted in the forest with the group stacked behind him, snaps at Gol not to get the wrong idea. They're not here begging for help at all, they're here because they're convinced they can actually help her somehow, some way. As you two trek through the forest, Smirnov leans in and tells Gol that this territory isn't built by one person. It's forged by everyone who lives there. And if she thinks she can juggle it all alone, she's about to get absolutely proven wrong. Then Gol snaps out of it. She finally gets the truth. She's not missing information. She's missing power. Gold clenches her resolve and orders her lord to obey. She orders a brutal showdown, then demands it end with not a single casualty on either side. This is the lord's final word. Her resolve locks in and her goal takes command. She'll lead, and everyone else has to obey her orders to the letter. She commands the baby dragon Gold to vanish into hiding. Meanwhile, Amelia and the ancient dragon stand guard over the citizens, ready to crush any threat that comes their way. Smirnov signals, and the war-cat tried women get subdued. She fires off, "Ready everyone?" and then snaps, "Move!" Gold barrels forward while an ancient dragon roars in hot pursuit, driving the assault straight into the magic wolves. A commanding voice snaps through the air, and the magic wolves immediately drop into a sit. The magic wolves fall in line and sit on command, while Natasha just freezes on the spot staring, totally stunned. She thought Smirnov was some big, heavyweight brawler, but before she could even react, he was already on top of her, flinging her through the air with insane speed and slick, unexpected agility. Then Natasha finally clocks it. Smirnov is way faster than he looks. Dodging his second strike is basically hopeless, so she swings her plan straight for the neck instead. Nana must announce that she'll take Smirnov's heart just for the deal they're making. But Smirnov snaps at her, saying she can't just throw her life away like it's nothing. And he even compares her to Hiro's husband. He calls her Kitten and asks in a teasing tone if she's really got it. Natasha nods like, got it, because Smirnov's got her pinned tight in his grip. There's no escape right now. Right from the forest, Hiro turns to Smirnov and blurts out thanks, calling him incredible, and Smirnov nods back saying Hiro's husband did great too. Smirnov just froze there, totally baffled, trying to wrap his head around what the hell had gone down. Meanwhile, the hero stood beside one of the magic wolves, finally exhaling in relief, because every last one of them was still uninjured. Then he tells them this is one of his hard-earned revelations, the roar of the Beast King. And yeah, it's usually for beastmen, but he cranked his voice up and turned it into a no-mistakes command. Gold drops onto the ancient dragon now dead. Quiet feels his plan finally click. And Heroid Netzi is shocked it even works on dragons, not just people. Then Natasha leans in and tells Amelia, I need to ask you one thing. She fires off the question straight to Amelia why she keeps defending humans so fiercely when everyone knows what happened between humans and demi-humans. Amelia suddenly remembers what Natasha taught her. She confesses that even after being saved, it felt awful at first until Hiro locks eyes with her and asks, straight up, Tuils, the muse dying, someone who's dying. Later, Amelia and Natasha sit shoulder to shoulder, calm at last, breathing in the quiet together. Amelia lays it out clearly. The Warcat tribe never forgets a debt they pay, every last one, no exceptions, because that's their sacred tradition. Natasha finally admits she was the one shamelessly pushing it. Then he grabs the hero's attention and demands to know what he's planning to do with her. The hero tells Natasha he's got zero plans for her, and Natasha shoots back. Can I ask you for one favor? She's begging for their help. She wants them to lead her straight to the Warcat tribe's village. The hero leans in and asks what she's going to do the moment she finally gets there. And when someone tells them Amelia's coming back for the martial tournament, it clicks, so they decide, without hesitation, to go too. The crew storms toward the Warcat tribe's village to make their introductions the right way, and the ancient dragon blasts them through the sky until the village rooftops finally rise beneath them. Because this trip is all about walking into a place where old grudges never die. The party charges deep into the dragon forest, pushing past every shadow and roar. Rushing past towering trees, they push straight toward the Workhead village. One traveler mutters that they've been walking nonstop, and then someone yells, Hang in there, our village is right up ahead. Then Gol starts griping about the whole walking thing, demanding to know why they don't just fly. Wouldn't that be way faster? The ancient dragon rattles in, basically daring them. If it's only a village at that level, they'll smoke it from the sky. He'll have everyone perched on his back. But just like that, someone snaps it down hard. Nope, that's absolutely not allowed. The hero leans in and tells everyone, "We're going to welcome the war cats as our neighbors." Someone blurts out that there's already a wall standing between them and the humans, and everyone feels the tension snap into place then. Another person chimes in saying nobody knows what could ignite a full-blown war. The hero snarls at the ancient dragon, "Mess with us and you'll have me banned from eating for life." And the dragon just grumbles that cutting someone's meals for war is the most boring punishment ever. Meanwhile, someone grills Hero, demanding to know if he's really sure their current force can handle it, because better safe than sorry isn't exactly optional. They clarify, "We mean Natasha and Amelia." And yeah, that war cat's hostility toward humans is downright brutal. Someone says they should have rallied everybody instead, but Hero snaps back, "That won't work, people still have jobs to handle, you know." Someone in the traveling group casually says they'll be gone from the territory for about 14 days, and Hero fires back that he already asked Jack to keep an eye on the materials and tools while they're away, so the whole squad presses on, trekking deeper along the forest path toward Warcat Village. Back at the territory, Hero lays it all out while the farmers tear into the land, planting that blessed seed rice and soybeans from his revelation. The craftsmen hammer away at new houses and patch up the mansion, and even the underlings jump in, dismantling monsters and helping get everything running since they can't leave the territory alone. Then the hero leans in and tells them they've got to fix things fast with the Warcat tribe. They admit, straight to your face, "Yeah, I really did ask a ton of people." And Hero fires back saying, "Of course we do, our work is just as important." The narration cuts to their mansion deep in the forest as the hero keeps talking. This demon forest isn't exactly giving them a bountiful harvest, and one place can't cover everything they need, but if they can trade with the village, they'll balance each other out and make life way better. Amelia suddenly blurted it out, "That's why I have to win the martial arts tournament." And she vowed to become the bridge between the forest and the village. But Natasha shoots back with real concern about that plan. Natasha figures the move-in greeting is no big deal at all. But then she blurts that she left the village all by herself, so now she's terrified they won't let her join in. The hero fires back, "I don't think this is going to run that smoothly." Amelia shoots back that the Warcats worship strength. Sure, but she makes it clear that real strength isn't reckless bravery, and everyone will see exactly what happens if they dare to resist the hero's power. Smirnov can't help but question whether they truly get it. He even hints some might be ready to charge straight in and throw their lives away. Then Amelia snaps, "Shut up." She prays they can end this without bloodshed, and then boom, someone drops the bombshell of a secret weapon. The hero nods and confirms they've got Smyrna's secret weapon too, and if things go sideways, they'll unleash it without hesitation. Someone erupts the moment they hear the shocking truth. Meanwhile, the crew slams up against a huge cave mouth. Then someone points out that once they shove through this corridor, they'll hit the village entrance. Smirnov drops a comment about how massive it is, then smirks and goes, "This isn't just a place, it's a natural fortress built by nature itself." Someone nods and says, "Yep, that's exactly it." But then, boom, a stern voice cracks the air and warns them, "This sanctuary is built so creatures like you can't stomp all over it." A massive Warcat commander looms in front of them, backed by an entire army of Warcat warriors, and he only speaks once. "Push any closer, and you'll get your lives erased." One of Hero's teammates jumps in, apologizing for suddenly showing up like this. And Hero immediately cuts in. "I'm Hero," he says, explaining he's just moved to the Demon Forest recently. Then Amelia jumps in and says, "Hey, this is basically a welcome for us moving into the neighborhood." And you can tell she's really praying they'll all open up and talk. But the Warcat leader snaps back with ice-cold calm, saying they've got nothing to say to humans, then orders them out. Amelia steps forward anyway. She knows humans aren't exactly loved here, but she still pleads, "Please, just listen to me." Suddenly, this giant, muscular Warcat warrior lunges forward like it owns the place, and someone yells, "Boss, get back." And that's when Amelia finally gets it. Threat about losing their lives wasn't empty at all. These guys don't mess around. Somebody calls out for them. For the chief to halt in his tracks as the Warcat leader stands there, fully armed in ornate armor, cape flowing, weapons gleaming. Amelia bursts out that Hero saved her life, so yeah, he's her benefactor. But the Warcat leader snaps a challenge at her. grilling whether she's really claiming she can land hits from that far away, with eyes that barely see. Amelia snaps back, loud and clear. Even if the chief is behind it, she'll never forgive anyone who dares to hurt Hiro. Then she flips open the ornate bow in her hands and declares, "With this, I can do it." The war cats lock up in disbelief, because that's the divine weapon their tribe has handed down for generations. The cover snaps open, and it's revealed to be Artemis's sacred bow. One of the war cats snarls about humans, while the war cat leader snaps that they've been trying to pull Amelia in, and then demands to know exactly what they're plotting. A guy from the hero team yells back, "We've been trying to tell you since earlier. Just listen already," and then immediately snaps. "So what, are you too dumb to understand simple words?" Right then, someone shouts at the kid, and the work-it leader just sneers like, "Yeah? Acting all high and mighty, huh?" Then someone from Hero's group jumps in to apologize, only to say they don't have heads low enough to bow to idiots like them. Another voice cuts in wondering if Beeskin really gets the whole bad ears and bad heads curse, or if it only happens after someone drags them into bowing their heads. Right then, a voice screams for both sides to cool off because the hero stands in the open, poised and ready, while someone scrambles to explain, "We're not here to fight." But the moment they start, a warning slams in telling them they've already been warned. Then a hailstorm of arrows erupts at them, final warning blazing, "Step forward, or you're dead." A brutal storm of arrows comes crashing toward Hero's group, but they slam into an invisible barrier, then just halt midair, turning the battlefield into a terrifying wall of frozen projectiles all around them. The hero stays stone calm, and in his head he's like, "This level of attack can't touch means nothing." Then boom, those arrows rip apart and blast in every direction, like some unseen force just detonated and shattered them. Amelia's frozen on the ground, gaping in total disbelief, firing off what the hell just happened. The war cat is grilling the hero, demanding to know if he used magic or something else. But the ancient dragon answers with a sharp question. "You call that magic?" And then it just casually flaps one wing. Like the whole thing is barely worth noticing. The war cats finally clock how there's absolutely no way what they're seeing can be real. Meanwhile, an ancient dragon hovered above the battlefield in humanoid form, silver wings blazing wide as it towered over the clearing, while Gold perched on its back, staring down like it owned the whole scene. A war cat can't believe her eyes. Dragon Cand is actually teaming up with humans, and she mutters that it's impossible, while another cat spots the silver ancient dragon and realizes the kid isn't just watching. Cand is driving him too. The work-it leader barks a warning that they'll regret this, then screams at them to take his deadly attack head-on. A scorching burst of light rips forward, straight for the dragon. The ancient dragon and the hero move in perfect sync when the dragon blasts out his power. The hero braces beside him, relentless and focused on the goal, and together they unleash a devastating strike that smashes straight into the war cats, overpowering them with sheer, crushing force. As the dust finally drifts down, Amelia steps forward and snaps that the war cat hit first, demanding to know what they think they're doing. Because both sides loose their bows at the exact same moment, the defeated war cat just sprawls in the clearing between them, and Amelia can't look away. She stares at Hiro, mind sprinting as she tries to make sense of what she saw. He pulled off that dragon disguise and somehow made the creature follow him. Meanwhile, Hiro strides forward with eerie calm toward the war cat chief and his army looming in the distance, right as Amelia shouts at the chief. Then Amelia drops to her knees on the forest path before the war cat leader and his roaring army, bowing with humble respect as she apologizes for her companion's rude behavior as the representative of her domain. She pleads with the leader to forgive their hero's rude manners, insisting he's still young enough to learn. The work-it leader stands tall, troops lined up behind him, and he orders Amelia to lift her head, right now. Suddenly, the female war cat steps into the spotlight and introduces herself. Her name is Emeralda. She thanks Hera's crew for holding back the power they could have unleashed. Behind her, the war cat warriors lock into formation, while Tiny Go watches eye everything from the side. Then Emeralda declares it straight. Their tribe honors the strong. Then she snaps her focus to Hiro, clocking that he's not quite like the other humans, so she leans in and demands to know why he's here. The whole crew pushes through the forest side by side, and Hiro shrugs it off, saying it's no big deal at all. Just a simple greeting before they head into the next forest over. Emerald shot back that Amelia told her he was stepping into the martial arts tournament, and she couldn't wait to see what he could do. In the background, a squad of warcat warriors huddle and mutter, confused out loud as they question why prowess is being used for someone like that. Then one of them snaps that Amelia isn't a hero at all, just a dropout who ditched the village. Then boom, the tension in the air snaps into something totally different. Emerald's face hardens, then she blurts out an apology, saying there's more going on behind all of this. And before the forest can swallow the moment, she decides it just doesn't feel right to keep talking out there. So she orders them to follow her and begs them to make the trip to her mansion, where they'll finally hash out every detail properly. They finally stumble into a colossal sacred tree that towers over everything, and Emeralda whispers that this giant is the legendary one people say holds a god. And get this, the bow of Artemis is a divine weapon forged by the gods themselves. As the group stomps down the path toward the massive tree, Emeralda keeps talking her ancestors were given the sacred job of guarding it, and that's why her tribe is chasing even greater strength. Emeralda steered them through the corridor, warning, "This village is going to be loud," then urged them to hang tight, because in just a moment, they were about to burst out into the noise, and right when they break through, it looks ahead like the world can't wait for what's coming next. The Warcat village sprawled out in front of them, and Hiro just stared, his mind blown. So this is the Warcat tribe's home. The whole place stretched endlessly in full glory, with towering sacred trees looming over everything massive, holy, and impossible to ignore. And the whole settlement is carved into those gigantic trunks homes stacked on different levels, woven right into the ancient tree architecture. So when Hiro's group steps onto the path below, they look tiny against the sheer scale of it all. Now you get an even crazier look at the village half-timbered buildings woven right into the vertical tangle of branches and trunk space, climbing level after level as it stretches upward, each tier built to move with the sacred tree instead of fighting it. As they push deeper into the village, Amelia's confidence wavers, and she can't stop thinking just how rare it is for a human to be invited here. She can't stop wondering if what she's doing is truly okay. Meanwhile, someone else keeps their distance, boots flashing as they move, praying this won't blow up the whole plan. The hero's jaw drops as he takes in the mind-blowing sights all around him. The village is downright unreal. Trees sprout actual houses from their trunks and branches, and the whole place blends into nature so seamlessly that you can't even tell where the buildings stop and the trees begin. Meanwhile, the group spots a whole bunch of Warcat kids huddled on a porch, staring as they roll past, whispering under their breath, eyes sharp, clearly terrified of the human visitors. Amelia keeps her eyes sharp and tells Hiro to stay ready, because one way or another, they're bolting the moment it's time. And the moment they show up, it's like a spotlight hits them. Warcat kids won't stop staring, suspicious as can be, unsure if these strangers are here for trouble. Whether they're begging for something or hunting after something else, it doesn't matter. Those are just straight-up kids, quietly watching everything. Then the group keeps marching through the village, deeper and deeper into the chaos. One of the Warcat kids suddenly jolts with shock, like something just clicked, and the whole vibe flips instantly. The other Warcat kids go wild, then swarm around them, pressing in close. They shout over, demanding to know just how strong these guys are. Some swear it's the first time humans have ever stepped foot in this village, while others spot the matcha guy and the pretty boy right away. That first nagging suspicion turns into real curiosity. But the hero starts getting crushed under the non-stop attention. A Warcat girl stalks up to him and asks if he's already claimed a mate, and Gold just stares because he can't believe how insanely popular it is. Another Warcat girl slides even closer, asks if he's interested, and basically pushes the idea that they should spend the night together. Just as things start to spiral out of control, someone slams a fist on the moment and bellows for silence with a shout that brooks no argument. Emerald surged forward, barked, "Back up now," and announced these folks were the chieftain's guests, warning everyone that any disrespect would be shut down immediately. Someone asks why she's so furious, and Emeralda snaps back, insisting she isn't angry at all. Then someone rushes in to make sure the hero's okay. Emeralda tells you the villagers can smell strength like blood in water, so when outsiders show up, they lose control, She even offers to step in and apologize if they scared or offended anyone. The hero admits he honestly expected an ambush the second they stepped into the village, so this took him by surprise and awesome. And then someone immediately asks, "Are you okay?" Then Emeralda snaps that they need to rush to the mansion. She refuses to pretend those nasty types don't exist, and warns that if they get surrounded again, it's going to turn into a total nightmare. They roll up to the mansion in Emeralda, and the moment they're there, they thank everyone for trekking all this way. She brings them into a huge room, says it's her private space, and tells them to kick back and get comfy. Hero gawked at the room, and when Gold admitted it was her first time too, the place hit her like a wave, and she looked completely overwhelmed. Emeraldus leans in and tells them to cut the chatter and get to the point. She listens to the hero claim his only mission is to greet them and watch the martial arts tournament. But she's not buying it, not for a second, because she knows there's more going on. Emeralda fesses up she noticed it, and now she spills the truth. They've got two goals, and yeah, Hero straight up says he'll be blunt. Hirav declares that one mission is to open up trade with the Warkek tribe. Emeralda shoots back that she sees them. Then she leans in and asks, "So what do you need, and what do you want to sell?" She even fires a question. Does the hero know what's going on in their domain? He answers straight, yeah, it's messed up, and he knows exactly how. He keeps talking, laying out the land's wild history, how beastmen hunts happened here, how humans and beastmen kept clashing, and how all that bloodshed stained everything, until poisons and dark magic were used again and again through it all. The scene snaps to white wolves stalking through a pitch-black forest, while the hero grimly explains that the poison and magic wreck the land so badly it's nearly impossible to turn it into farmland, and it's only getting worse. As everything gets worse, monsters swarm the blood-stained ground, lured in by the rotting corruption. Back in the room, Emerald fires off the question, how is the hero even supposed to trade in a place like this? The land's been gutted into a wasteland, a brutal stretch where humans barely survive. Hero just shrugs and says he's got something for him. Then the camera zooms in on a document, or whatever valuable thing he's holding close. Then the scene finally clicks. He sits cross-legged on the floor, surrounded by dozens of revelation cards, with every power the gods gave him during his coming-of-age ceremony laid out right in front of him. Emerald freezes in shock, eyes locked on the screen, and blurts out that every one of those facts is a divine revelation from the gods, calling it straight up incredible. She realizes that with power like this on the table, human society will value it like gold. The hero nods and admits it, then quickly adds that nearly none of those things actually help him in any direct way. We see the hero perched amid the cards, laying out his whole past born into the mighty noble house of Rothwell, then kicked out for the very power he still wields, while his younger brother took the house and he got shoved aside, adopted out, and named lord over this wasteland territory, his fist snapping shut like a promise. Meanwhile, Emerald corners him and straight up demands to know what he's really chasing now: revenge or conquest. She reminds him his own family turned on him and tossed him out of his home. Then she leans in and asks, "So what's your move in this new land?" But Hero fires back, saying he's chasing a future one where nobody goes hungry and nobody has to fight, and he's determined to build a world where everyone can finally live in peace. Emeralda nods to the vision, but she doesn't sugarcoat it. Living on that land is going to be brutal. The hero nods and says, "Yeah, I get it. She was right. That land is brutal for humans to survive." Then Hero breaks down exactly where they stand right now for Amelia while the ancient dragon heads out hunting, and they trade the materials for food, but he warns them that once more people show up, they'll be scraping the bottom of their supplies. The scene has them huddled together in the room, and the hero leans in to say, "That's exactly why I thought we had to link up with the Warcat tribe. Those people don't just talk about the forest. They actually know how to survive out there." Emeralda nods like she understands, then leans in and demands to know what the other goal is. She snaps it back at him, reminding him he'd said there were two objectives. Hero stakes his second goal on the spot: rescue Amelia's younger sister. No hesitation. He tells you he got the whole story straight from Amelia. Turns out if her sister doesn't win the tournament, they'll drag her into serving one of the strong by force. Meanwhile, Someone out of frame sneers, demanding to know why she ran from the village at all and calling her a complete fool. Then a voice suddenly blasts the news because of what just happened. Mira gets tossed out into exile too. Amelia demands answers, furious that the chief never bothered to consult them first. But the chief snaps back. Even if no one's left to hear you, they'll still drop out because the village would have quit listening anyway. Emerald struts ahead through the grand hallway. Amelia follows hot on her heels, and Hiro closes in at the very back. Amelia can't take the revelation, she mutters, "Emira," under her breath. Then her face snaps into pure shock as she fires a question at the chief, asking what they just said. The authority figure slams the decision down. Those two sisters are being banished from the village, right now. Meanwhile, from the shadows, someone hisses his name and mirrors it back like a taunt. Then Bam Hiro bursts in, yells for everyone to hold up, and fires off the point that you can't just exile someone for leaving the village without permission. But the Warshay leader leans in and tells her this isn't just tradition. It's a sacred law forged by the gods and handed down for generations to shield the divine tree and their clan. Because if their village's location ever gets uncovered, they'll be forced to relive the same brutal tragedies from the past. The leader keeps talking because if word gets out that even someone from the weakest family slipped out, people will start sniffing around and zero in on the village's location. And she isn't just guessing. She's seen it happen, with people who turned their backs on their own tribe and ran straight into outlaw guilds. Amelia and Harov stand side by side as the truth crashes down on them. And Amelia's face contorts in pure distress, because she realizes what she could unleash. The leader fires a warning, saying Amelia's presence could endanger her beloved family. Amelia jerks her head away, desperate to break from it, stuck, grappling with what it all really means. A soft voice calls her sister's name, cutting through the silence. Out of nowhere, a young female warcat bursts onto the scene, looking timid and unsure. She stumbles through the same word again and again. Amelia spots her right away then. Both sisters bolt toward each other and lock in a tight embrace. The younger sister's just trembling with relief that her sister is alive. And when Amelia finally speaks, she admits she genuinely thought she'd never see the village again. After everything they've survived, this reunion hits like a gut punch. Meanwhile, two observers stare at the authority figure like, "Why are you even here?" But the Warcat leader just shrugs it off and says, plain as day, that she protected Emira. The camera swings out to reveal everyone packed into the hallway, and the leader roars that before the tournament even began, Emira was accused of running off. Then they dragged her away to force her into service. Talens the books, they stripped her family of their status and threw them into exile. The hero strides up and demands what Amelia and the others are supposed to do next. Then two warheads snap at him to hold up for a second. The hero strides up to the towering, shadowy figure and demands to know if they'll take in these two under their domain. He knows he's about to ask for the most ridiculous thing imaginable, way past the line, but he still leans in and begs them to break the rules just this once. The Warcat leader smirks, tells him to lift his head, and says she'd gladly welcome both of them. Then her eyes narrow as she warns that doing this could spark serious trouble with the anti-human faction. The hero keeps bowing and apologizing over and over, because that brutal bluntness about it all just blew up in everyone's face. On their way to work in the village, the group spotted kids living out on the streets, and one of them snapped that they were in the same exact spot as Amelia. Amelia slams the truth down and confirms it. She slumps on the ground, pain twisting her face, and tells them straight she can't protect anyone, not even if she desperately wanted to. This isn't some cold, let them handle it moment. It's worse than that. In her position, fighting to save the weak would only feed the disaster and make everything spiral faster. Reality hits like a truck. Those kids get shipped off to other villages to work, or they end up right back under the soil. Those are the only two choices they've got left. Then the hero brings up that earlier trade proposal and asks them straight up, can they borrow those children? His domain can't run without hard labor, so everyone pitches in tilling the land, while they juggle the kids' food, clothes, and shelter, and still push to educate and train them. A stranger lurking in the shadows gets hit with a simple question. Why make an offer like that in the first place? Hero tells everyone. This way it won't feel strange for Amelia and Amira to stay in the domain, and will be helping those street kids at the same time. He explains that, since they're family, the sisters can drop by and see the kids anytime. And when Mira hears it, Her face just lights up with pure excitement. Pointing it out, he asks his hero, "So, was my idea too presumptuous?" Emerald stared in total disbelief at the whole exchange, like her world had just flipped upside down. Someone blurts that he's way too young to be this mature, and says he's truly remarkable. Then out of nowhere someone from the side snaps, calling Emeralda out for charging ahead on her own without permission, yelling that eavesdropping is downright improper. An envoy from the elf tribe storms in and announces that, and she filed the paperwork to buy those children, then promised she'd pay any price for that girl the moment anyone dared to complain. The woman shuts it down right away, insisting they'd never sign a slave contract like that. So Hero steps in and makes one thing crystal clear. He's not chasing money, he's fighting for their future. The elf and the voice snap into aggression fast. She trekked all this way to help with the tournament, then it gets cancelled out of nowhere, meaning the labor contract they made in good faith is now totally void, and she's left wondering if they're really about to torch a 1,000-year friendship just to trade it for a contract with humans. She warns them, "If you dare bring war to our village, the elves will throw everything they have at you to stop it." She demands to know one thing: do they even realize what's going to happen to the village the moment the chieftain finds out? Voices start pleading for them to wait, begging them not to ignite a war over this, and right then, Hero steps in and drops his proposal. Hero leans in and tells them, "This is the Warcat tribe's village here. Strength is everything. So yeah, when you're in Rome, do what the Romans do, right?" He proposes an intertribal martial arts tournament winner takes the negotiation rights so everyone can dodge pointless bloodshed. A bold label pops up by his side chieftain. With rage blazing, someone snarls at him, telling him to stop insulting them with all that pointless fighting. But the Warcat leader won't back off. He roars that the Warcat tribe can't retreat when it's martial arts on the line, because getting shielded without fighting is a disgrace to their clan. Then someone blurts out the rules win the match, and the losing village has to grant you one request. The elfin voice shoot back, "Don't sweat it. The defeated don't have anything to worry about." 3 figures stride into view, and the elf woman steps up like, "I'm Alexia. I'll represent the elf tribe in this tournament." And everyone just goes, "Whoa, that's interesting," and reveals that representative is up next. Amira feels something's off and calls out her sister's name, worry spilling straight through her voice. Amelia beams as she lifts a pair of glasses and practically gushes. These are the glasses, a human-made artifact that can rip fate out of the sky. She asks if America can finally see it now. Then Amelia starts clocking details she's never noticed before. She points out that Amira has the same mold as their mom, and the moment she says, "You've grown so much," Amira's just stunned, because Amelia can't believe she missed all of it. From far away, they squint, then break into relief. "Yep, I can see it crystal clear now." Amira leans in and quietly answers, "Yes." Meanwhile, someone brags about their domain's pride, claiming their bow princess's arrows never miss, not even once. She can blast a falling leaf out of the sky from 1,000 miles away. Arrows streak through the air with insane speed and pinpoint accuracy. Without warning, a brutal rain of arrows rips through the tangled architecture, landing with terrifying pinpoint precision. The hero fires off. "So, what do you think, Alexia?" And Amelia answers, "From where I'm standing, there's nothing to worry about." Someone clocked it immediately. An unseen observer murmurs to themselves that the prodigy archer is back. Then Alexia rocks the room and declares the tournament kicks off in just 3 days. This tournament is going to be a no-holds-barred fight where every tribe's pride is on the line. She rallies them all, go all in, no holding back. Fight with every last ounce of strength. The declaration blasts through the air, screaming that the intertribal martial arts tournament is finally underway. This is a battle where pride is the real weapon,